January 1, 2026, Crans-Montana, Switzerland. The luxury ski resort was packed with tourists ringing in the new year. At 1:30 a.m., the celebration at Le Constellation Bar was in full swing. Music was blasting and the drinks were flowing. Then the Starlight bottles arrived. Witnesses saw a waitress carrying a magnum of champagne with a lit sparkler attached. She was reportedly sitting on a waiter's shoulders. Moving through the dense crowd, the bar was a death trap of old wood and cheap acoustic foam. The second that sparkler touched the ceiling, the room turned into a furnace. It took only 10 seconds for the entire ceiling to ignite. A terrifying phenomenon occurred that firefighters call embrasement généralisé. The heat became so intense that the gases in the air spontaneously combusted. The room didn't just burn, it exploded. Panic was instant. The main exit was a narrow, steep flight of stairs. Hundreds of people scrambled toward it at once, creating a deadly crush. Survivors described total darkness filled with the smell of burning plastic and the sound of people screaming. Some managed to smash through plexiglass windows with chairs and tables to leap into the freezing night. Outside, the scene was like a war zone. People were running through the snow, some described as burning from head to foot. Their clothes completely melted away. 47 people lost their lives that night. Over 115 others were left with horrific, life-altering burns. The local hospitals were so overwhelmed they had to declare a state of emergency, fly in 10 helicopters, and eventually send victims to neighboring countries for treatment. What was supposed to be the best night of the year became one of the worst tragedies in Swiss history. A reminder how quickly a single spark can turn a celebration into a nightmare. The Instagram account known as Milk Raised by a Teen is typically a very wholesome corner of the internet. It's run by a young lady who enjoys sharing her passion for roller skating and the simple joy of raising an energetic puppy named Mao. Her videos are usually lighthearted and filled with laughter, helpful training tips, and sunny afternoons spent gliding along the pavement. However, this specific clip was nothing like her usual content. She was spending a typical evening in Alanya, Turkey, a familiar place where she often skated with her dog trotting cheerfully by her side. It was supposed to be a common routine outing. But everything shifted the second a man approached her. At first, it seemed like a casual conversation until his behavior suddenly became aggressive and his body language turned threatening.
Can you leave? No.
He walked away for a moment, giving her the brief impression that the situation was over, but it was not. He returned shortly after, and the confrontation was about to get much worse.
Can you get away? Come on. No, can you leave us alone? Hey, don't hit my dog. Don't hit my dog.
Git.
No, you leave.
Yürü.
This is a public place.
Yallah.
No.
Yallah. Hadi.
Can you leave?
Yürü.
No, you leave.
Go.
The man stepped toward her again as the tension rose in an instant. Even though she was alone on skates in a very public place, no one stepped in to help her. Dozens of people passed by and glanced over, but they said nothing and did nothing.
I won't go.
Ne go babam? Yallah buradan.
No.
Siktir git. Keserim onu ben. Hadi.
No.
Yürü.
No, I won't go. It's none of your business. Can you leave? I'm going to... Don't touch my dog.
Bana dokunma.
No. Don't pet her.
Dokunma. Ben sana dokunuyor muyum?
No, dokunma her.
Yürü git hadi.
Can you leave? I won't leave.
Sen karışma.
Good.
Gitsin diyorum, karışma.
I won't go.
Çocuk sen suçludur.
Only after the situation had escalated far too much did a father who was playing with his young ones finally intervene. He managed to break the tension long enough for the aggressive man to leave the area. Without the father's last-minute involvement, it's hard to say how much worse the night could have become for her. Encounters like this are far more common than most people realize. Women across the world face harassment and intimidation in everyday public spaces, often in broad daylight with witnesses nearby. What is even more alarming is how many bystanders choose to look away until it's almost too late. This video is a stark reminder of the reality many women deal with and how the silence of those around them can be just as frightening as the confrontation itself. On March 27, 2024, a nightmarish scenario unfolded at the University of Chester during their annual Chestival celebrations. The Spring Festival is a beloved tradition that brings thousands of students together for food, live music, and fairground rides. The event was held at the university's Park campus in England and was free for any student who grabbed a wristband. The star attraction of the fair was a ride called the Superstar, which was marketed as a high-speed whirlwind experience meant for the big kids. The Superstar is a spinning ride where multiple cars rotate around a central axis while also spinning on their own. This creates the intense gravitational force that thrill seekers love. Just 1 hour after the event opened, emergency services were flooded with calls reporting a mechanical disaster. Video footage reveals a terrifying moment when a massive metal panel broke free from the center of the spinning ride. The ride was in full motion when the panel detached and hurled through the air, striking 2 carloads of passengers before smashing into the ground. What made the situation even more frightening was that the ride did not stop immediately after the impact. Witnesses watched in horror as the machine continued to spin for a while before the operators could finally bring it to a halt. Two students were seriously injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. One of them, a 19-year-old named Caitlin, suffered a concussion and whiplash that led to blurred vision and severe headaches. The health and safety executive launched a formal investigation to see why the automatic emergency stop didn't activate. Because the ride was provided by an external contractor, the university tried to shift some of the liability away from the school itself. This incident raises serious questions about the inspection protocols for mobile fairground equipment compared to permanent rides. If you are a youngster looking for a thrill, you probably expect the equipment to be in top shape. Do you think mobile rides should face stricter daily inspections before students are allowed to board? Valerie runs the channel Adventure, Travel, and Raw Moments, where she is known for her upbeat and spontaneous journeys. Normally, her adventures are full of kindness and human connection, but in this night, while hitchhiking solo through Kyrgyzstan toward Arslanbab, the tone shifted into something unexpected. This video documents that specific journey, a trip meant to be ordinary that turned into a quiet test of her boundaries and survival instincts.
I'm just a few hundred meters away from the city center in Turkestan, and it's sad to see, but it looks like a different world. The streets are full of potholes, they're scattered everywhere. The contrast is very big, like the huge buildings and the fountains. Yeah, it's like the same city, right? Bye-bye! So I didn't come very far today, not yet. A friendly man took me with him, even though he didn't have to go this direction. He was very friendly that he took me some kilometers outside of the city center, so it's easier to get another lift here. He was afraid that his wife would be jealous, so I didn't show him on camera. But yeah, here I'm on the proper road good for hitchhiking.
From the start, the contrast of the landscape set a unique scene. Valerie moved between locations with her usual optimism, trying to cover as much distance as possible before dark so she could pitch her tent in time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So lucky I met this family. They were so sweet. And they took me like 1 hour from Turkestan to Arslanbab. I wanted to come here because there's a beautiful mausoleum and a mosque, and it's a bit more rural here. It was like dirt road, nothing to see, but yeah, that's Kazakhstan. I love that. So cool. And now I'm looking for a spot to set up my tent, somewhere with a good view. I would love to wake up and see the mausoleum in the morning, so I try to go somewhere on the field.
Eventually, she found a spot with a view of a local mosque and raced against dusk to set up her camp without drawing too much attention to herself. Horses moved in the distance, their silhouettes drifting through the fading light while unseen voices carried faintly across the open field. It was beautiful but very exposed, the kind of place where quiet does not necessarily mean you are alone.
Two mosquitoes in here. It's actually soft. The size is just perfect. I'm glad about this tent. Woo! My first night in a tent in Kazakhstan. My first night in this tent also. It's very basic, but it brought me here, so it's good. I'm thankful I have it, because tent always means flexibility, and that's what I love. Actually, the driver brought me to a guest house, which is like 200 meters from here, and thought I wanted to sleep there, but then I said no, actually I have my tent with me, and I said I will just go to
Valerie settled into her tent, feeling the excitement that comes with being free to choose your own view in the morning. However, what felt calm and promising would soon shift entirely as the night brought an encounter she never expected.
I had probably slept for 1 hour until I heard a noise. It was the horses coming closer to my tent.
Hello.
So I opened the door to watch them and welcome them. But then a car approached. There is someone in the car. I hope he doesn't mind me camping here on his ground.
Қазақша білмейді екен деп
WhatsApp берші, жаңа телефон.
Bye bye. Thank you. Kata Rahmat. Thank you. Bye. What was that? It was so weird. Okay, so obviously these people are the owner of the field and the horses. So they came to check on them and they saw my tent, and I was already watching the horses. So I went outside to speak with them and ask them if it's okay that I sleep here on their farm.
The landowners were curious and luckily very friendly at first, eager to know who she was and why she chose their field. They used translation apps and exchanged smiles, and the conversation stretched on in a way that felt awkward but never hostile. It seemed like a passing interaction with strangers until the middle of the night around 3 a.m. when a car returned to the site. This time the man was completely alone and his wife was no longer with him.
Can't believe I just called this man friendly. I'm so disappointed. It's 3 a.m. I heard a noise, someone was saying something. I opened the door of my tent and then he was there again, like very close. And he was like making a kissing gesture. And I said, what? I was still like, I didn't understand what was going on because I just woke up, and he really tried to go into my tent. I had to stop him and push him away, and I said, what are you doing? No. I clearly said no. And he wouldn't understand, like he wouldn't want to understand. I was like in such a shock because I didn't get why, like what was happening, and I kept saying no, and he wanted to still like come inside. Eventually he said, yeah, phone to speak, like Google Translate, and I said, no, leave me alone, no, go. And I think I said this for 2 minutes straight until he finally left. But man, I've never had that before. And yeah, now he went back into his car. I don't know, will he return or not? So it's a bit stupid situation right now. And I mean, so sad, because they were friendly and stuff, but this really destroyed it, unfortunately. And it was the first time I didn't really feel 100% safe. I mean, I was sure that one day I will face these kind of situations, but yeah, it just didn't happen to me yet. Yeah, now I placed my cutlery next to me, just in case. I don't think he will come back, but you never know.
For anyone in Valerie's position, this moment would be deeply unsettling. To be pulled from sleep by movement outside your tent only to realize it is a man standing there alone is the kind of shock that unravels your sense of safety. She barely slept until dawn, as every sound became sharper and the thin fabric of the tent felt far too fragile.
By the time I edited this video, a few days had passed since this incident had happened, and I had time to think about how the situation came about. Yes, I was in short clothes when I talked to the farmer and his wife because I was sleeping before. Yes, I shared my social media accounts with them. Yes, I answered their questions honestly, that I was traveling alone and that I'm not married. And yes, I was super friendly as always. I smiled a lot. But they were a married couple and seemed warm-hearted, even though they should have noticed that it's not the best behavior to interrupt my sleep at 1:30 in the morning for such a long time. And still, I would have never expected him to return without his wife.
Diners in Bali went from enjoying a Christmas dinner to fleeing in panic when a fire attraction went wrong. The performance accidentally touched a ceiling decoration, which caused flames to spread across the restaurant instantly. People were forced to drop their meals and run for the exits as the fire grew. Fortunately, there were no reports of injuries despite the rapid spread of the fire. Indoor pyrotechnics and fire shows carry extreme risks if the venue is not properly prepared. Whenever you enter a restaurant with live fire entertainment, take note of the nearest emergency exit immediately. Decorations near heat sources are a recipe for disaster in crowded spaces. Liz is the creator of the channel Regretlies, and she is known for sharing the raw truth of life on the road. Most of her videos highlight the beauty of living in a bus and the freedom of waking up wherever the horizon ends. However, she never hides the darker side of this lifestyle. In this story, she had left behind a quiet and restful night at a campsite with absolute silence. As she headed deeper into Northwest Texas, a region she knew was remote and unforgiving, she decided to play it safe by booking a specific parking lot for the night instead of camping in the wild. On paper, it seemed perfect because there were grocery stores nearby and it appeared harmless, but the moment she stepped out to walk her dog, Rio, something shifted.
Rio and I are gonna go walk around town a little bit and see if we can find this laundromat. So I literally just took Rio outside to go walk around the block to check out the laundromat, and I'm already getting catcalled. It's So frustrating, especially now. The way I'm traveling, it's just like, makes me feel uneasy. I just hate cities, urban areas.
A man started catcalling her almost immediately, and he was close enough to follow her around the block. She had to change her route just so he would not see where she lived. This turned a simple walk into a careful calculation of her own safety.
And I now... Oh, Rio, come on. Gotta pass a little... Oh, nope. This way. I just had to walk around the block the other way to prevent the guy who was catcalling me from continuing to follow me, and I didn't want him to know where the bus was and that I was living in it, because I'm just behind this business, you know, like, it's nice to be on private property, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, this isn't, like, yeah, it's still just me out here. And then that pack of, like, the small little dogs that wanted to chase after Rio, so had to go back around the block. Luckily, the guy wasn't there anymore. I'm excited to get out of here tomorrow morning. Yeah. Let me pause right there. What is not shown is my small mental breakdown.
She did not film the breakdown that followed, but she described the anger of being followed and the frustration of having her boundaries ignored. It was a reminder that traveling as a solo woman comes with rules that others never have to consider. She searched for another place to stay, but every nearby option had warnings from other travelers, so nothing felt safe. She locked her doors, sent her location to a friend, and tried to disappear. Her dog growled throughout the night, staying alert and protective, but luckily, no one returned.
It sucks to not feel super safe and secure where you're parked, but that's the reality of bus life, and God forbid anything happens. I'm confident in my ability to react to things, but I think really I just need to hunker down, cut my losses, and then get out of here first thing in the morning and hopefully find somewhere much more beautiful and relaxing. You know, it's always good to listen to your intuition, and it just sucks when it's been like the alarm has been rung of like, maybe this isn't such a great spot. But I looked around, there's really nothing else. The crime is pretty high in this area, so I'm just gonna deal with it. We're gonna make the most of it. Again, I made chicken nuggets, so life is good. And I'll see you guys in the morning.
The next morning, she left as soon as the sun rose and headed toward a much safer location. Traveling alone means you have to carry your own safety and strength all at once. When she finally felt safe again, she allowed herself to feel the emotional crash that arrives after danger is past. By sharing this, she was not trying to scare anyone, but rather show the full reality of being a solo woman on the road. It's a reminder that your intuition and boundaries matter. Valerie is the creator behind the Journey Us account and is known for traveling alone to remote mountains and quiet valleys that feel untouched by time. Her videos usually highlight the hidden beauty of the world. But on her multi-day solo horse trek in Kyrgyzstan, that peace was shattered. Her morning had started like a travel film on the 5th day of her journey. She woke to soft light stretching across the mountains with the air feeling crisp and the world silent except for birdsong. While she was busy packing up her camp, 3 local youngsters wandered over to her. They were smiling shyly and sat beside her while she tucked flowers into their hair. It was the kind of moment that makes solo travel feel magical, but that calm disappeared in seconds when a local man approached her. He offered to help with her horse, which might have seemed like a kind gesture, but something about his insistence felt off. When he invited her to his yurt for tea, she politely declined, but the mood shifted fast.
Муж есть? Муж? Да, муж. А только один турист день? Да. А ночи куда спать? Сарколь, да? Ночи?
I don't know.
А ночи спать сарколь? Нет. Где чатер? Одну, да, только двое, одну?
Одна.
А только одна, да?
Yes.
Я дома есть чатер. Я чатер есть. А потом сарколь, хорошо?
I want to be alone.
А, секс, ну, понял? Секс, нет. Секс. Понял?
No.
Эй, Дома, давай. Дома.
You said sex. I said no.
Давайте чай поем, чай.
Leave me alone.
Хорошо.
I'm so glad I filmed this. It just shows the reality sometimes.
His questions became invasive as he pried into her personal life and sleeping arrangements. He asked if she had a husband and where he stayed at night, and then the questions turned unmistakably inappropriate. Isolated in the mountains with no one else around, she had to navigate a situation no solo traveler ever wants to face. It was a harsh reminder that traveling alone can expose you to unsettling situations that no guidebook can ever prepare you for. Valerie later wished she had spoken up more forcefully, but exhaustion can make even simple responses feel heavy. Still, she refused to let him ruin her day and continued her trek. Along the trail, she even had to navigate risky, steep terrain after accidentally following a cow path. Despite the stress of the shifting ground, her horse remained calm. When they finally reached safe ground, she felt a sense of resilience. This clip is important because it shows the full truth of solo travel, including the moments of fear and the demand for courage. At first glance, it looks fake, like something pulled straight from an action movie or a CGI clip online. But what you're about to see is very real. A car launches into the air, clears a fence, and crashes straight into a quiet backyard, turning an ordinary evening into a moment of pure chaos. Just seconds before impact, the homeowner, Cletus Reed, had been outside preparing to relax in his hot tub. He stepped back inside the house to speak with his wife. That decision likely saved his life.
I thought like an asteroid hit the backyard.
Moments later, without warning, the sound of an explosion echoes through the yard as a vehicle comes flying out of nowhere. The car slams into the backyard and flips violently. In a horrifying twist, the driver is thrown from the vehicle mid-crash and lands directly in the swimming pool below. From the homeowner's perspective, it didn't even sound like a car. He later said it felt like an asteroid had hit his backyard. When he rushes outside, the scene is unreal. The car is mangled. Water is splashing everywhere. The driver is in the pool, barely conscious, struggling to breathe as she takes in water. Without hesitation, the homeowner wades in, realizing she's actively drowning. A neighbor hears the crash and climbs through the destroyed fence to help. Together, they pull the woman from the pool and lay her on the ground, checking desperately to see if anyone else had been inside the vehicle. The backyard, moments earlier a place of peace, now looks like a disaster zone. The driver is wrapped in a blanket as emergency responders arrive. Investigators later say she was driving under the influence when the crash happened. Because she was hospitalized, she was issued a misdemeanor citation instead of being taken into custody at the scene. The damage was so severe that a crane had to be brought in to remove the wrecked car from the backyard. But the most chilling part of this story isn't the destruction, it's how close this came to ending very differently. If the homeowner hadn't stepped inside when he did, that airborne car would have landed exactly where he had been sitting. He later said he felt incredibly lucky to be alive. Watching the footage back, it's hard not to agree.
I'm so blessed and lucky that I didn't die.
One small decision made seconds earlier was a difference between survival and tragedy, and that's what makes this video so unsettling. Not just the crash itself, but how random it was, how sudden, how close someone came to dying without ever knowing it was coming. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet over 80% of it remains entirely unexplored. It's a vast, silent world filled with beauty, but also immense danger. Beneath the waves lies a realm of crushing pressure, complete darkness, and forces we cannot always see or understand. We cool off in its waters during the summer and stroll along its shores to listen to the rhythmic crashing of waves. Sometimes even the most peaceful day at the beach can turn deadly in an instant. That is exactly what happened on the southern coast of Oman during what was meant to be a relaxing family outing. Shashikant Mahamani, a 42-year-old sales manager, took his wife and 2 young ones to Salalah, a popular coastal town. The weather was warm and the sea inviting, so the family simply wanted to enjoy a day by the water. As they arrived at Al Mughsal Beach, their young ones, 9-year-old Shruti and 6-year-old Shreyas, ran joyfully toward the shoreline. Without warning, a massive wave crashed onto the shore with violent force. It swept both young ones off their feet and dragged them directly into the ocean.
देखा है समुंदर
Bystanders screamed in panic as the young ones vanished beneath the waves, overpowered by the sea. Shashikant plunged into the surf to save his young ones, but the current was far too strong. By the time responders arrived, both Shashikant and young Shreyas had drowned. Shruti was never found, and her fate remains unknown. This chilling video was captured near a home and uploaded to YouTube by a user named ForestFire21. It was recorded around 2 a.m. on a cold December night in 2014. The uploader lives near a forest, and the disturbing sounds were coming from deep in the woods behind his house. At first, it is difficult to make out exactly what the voice is yelling. After listening closely, viewers pointed out something even more unsettling than the initial screams. Along with a young female voice crying out, you can faintly hear an adult male voice yelling, "Where are you?" This quieter voice layered beneath the screams makes the entire recording feel much more sinister. The uploader checked the news every day following the incident but never found an explanation. The fact that these screams happen at 2 a.m. in the freezing cold raises serious concerns. Some viewers question why the uploader recorded the clip instead of calling the police immediately. Without more context, it's impossible to know if a report was ever filed. We may never find out what really happened in those woods that night. What would be your first move if you heard a young one screaming in the woods behind your house in the middle of the night? This CCTV footage from December 22, 2025 captures a lovely atmosphere that quickly turns insane. You can see several dogs wandering the area before a multiple launch rocket system known as a BM-21 is used against Thailand. These rockets rained down on a village near the Cambodian border where fierce fighting had been occurring throughout the week. At least 3 different rocket arrivals strike the ground with terrifying precision. It's a relief to see that the local dogs were unharmed, as they often have a habit of running toward danger rather than away from it. This video shows how quickly a peaceful neighborhood can transform into a war zone without a moment's notice. How would you react if the sky suddenly began falling in your own backyard? Summer is a beautiful time when people stay outside to enjoy time with friends and cool off from the heat. But in March of 2025 in Brazil, an innocent moment took a terrifying turn. A group of boys can be seen laughing and filming as one of their friends stands on the edge of a bridge. They held their phones ready to capture the jump, but they could not have predicted what happened next. As the boy jumps, a massive crocodile suddenly launches out of the water. Its intent was unmistakable. It was going directly for him. Fortunately, the boy leapt just far enough to miss the predator's jaws. The crocodile appears to miss him entirely in the footage, but details beyond the camera remain murky. No conclusive information ever surfaced about whether the boy was injured later or if he knew the crocodile was there. It remains unknown if this was a horrifying coincidence or a dangerous stunt. This encounter serves as a warning about the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface of natural waterways. A group of riders on a dirt bike trail recorded this footage when they found themselves in a situation that was far from ideal. While the specific nature of the chaos remains a mystery, they managed to escape the area safely. The video was originally posted by an account using Cebuano, a language spoken in the Philippines. The uploader noted they would never return to this specific trail again after what they witnessed. Beyond that, the context ends, leaving viewers to wonder what exactly forced these bikers to flee for their lives. It serves as a haunting reminder that remote trails can hide dangers that have nothing to do with the terrain itself. A group of workers attempted a highly volatile method to reseed a tar bead by using a handheld torch combined with a flammable aerosol spray. This specific technique carries extreme risks because the sudden expansion of gases can turn heavy metal locking rings into lethal projectiles if the wheel assembly fails. While the explosion successfully forced the rubber onto the rim, the sheer force of the blast could have easily maimed anyone standing in the immediate vicinity. Using standardized compressed air systems is always the safer choice to prevent such life-threatening mechanical failures during routine maintenance. It's a stark reminder that shortcutting safety protocols for the sake of speed often results in catastrophic property damage or severe physical harm to the team. Working at heights is a primary fear for many, yet it remains a routine part of the job for others. Globally, it's one of the most dangerous aspects of any workplace. Each year, over 100,000 workers lose their lives in falls from height. On July 1st, 2022, 552 workers were on site building the framework for a new structure. Logan, a veteran employee of over 12 years, was ensuring everything ran safely and by the book. He moved from team to team, checking in with colleagues and ensuring precision in every step. As he reached the base of a ladder leading to the upper floors, he began to climb. Then, a single misstep changed everything in an instant. Logan lost his footing and fell from a height of 8 meters. He landed flat on his neck, bounced once, and collapsed motionless on his back, his arms locked in the air, stiff from the shock of the impact. Co-workers rushed to help, but Logan did not survive the fall. He died doing the job he had loved for over a decade. In Santiago, Chile, security cameras at a small convenience store captured a strange and very frightening inconvenience. As an employee stood up to serve customers who had just walked in, a rogue wheel suddenly barged into the shop uninvited. The tire was moving at an incredible speed and crashed through the entrance with enough force to cause serious damage. It's terrifying to see what a runaway wheel can do when it detaches from a vehicle at high velocity. The people inside were lucky to avoid a direct hit, as a tire moving that fast can act like a wrecking ball. This freak accident shows that danger can find you even when you're just standing at a counter buying a snack. Do you ever think about the safety of the storefronts you enter when they're located right next to a busy road? You might be asking, were they enemies? Did they know each other? Nope, they were strangers. Yet this woman waited for a moving train to shove this woman into, and all hell breaks loose. We've all got into arguments, but I don't think attempted murder is the answer. On September 8, 2015, 32-year-old Henry McCabe vanished without a trace in Minnesota. Henry had attended a barbecue and later went to a nightclub before asking a friend to drop him at a gas station. Strangely, he declined a ride home and opted to be left alone at its random location at 2 a.m. Minutes later, he made a phone call to his wife, Corrine. Corrine said Henry sounded delirious and disoriented, with his words slurring into something barely resembling speech. A friend's voicemail later captured the final 2 minutes of Henry's conversation, and the audio is deeply disturbing. It's filled with guttural moans, groans, and growls that sound like a violent encounter. Raw panic and fear are the only things audible in the recording. Police found Henry's body in Rush Lake 2 months later with no visible injuries or signs of violence. However, an anonymous letter sent to the police had previously described his body being partially buried near water. The letter mentioned that a scared female young witness saw the burial and needed to come forward. While some say he drowned, others suspect foul play that cannot be explained. If a friend asks to be dropped off at a random location late at night while they are impaired, would you let them walk away alone? This security footage comes from the Santa Elena district in Medellin, Colombia, and shows a chaotic multi-vehicle accident. A bus crashed into a van before plunging off the road and into a deep ravine. The heavy vehicle also managed to take out a building as it went down the slope. There were 25 people on the bus at the time of the crash, and 12 of them were reportedly injured in the fall. Thankfully, no fatalities were reported despite the terrifying distance the bus traveled. It's a miracle that everyone survived such a violent descent into the ravine. How would you handle the sudden realization that the vehicle you're riding in has left the roadway entirely?
Hey, little girl, you know what's evil? Canada! Canada's evil! Canada's evil! Canada's evil! Yeah! Canada's evil!
Some people just want to be heard. This guy, he wants random people to know he believes Canada is evil. My question though, if Canada is so evil, what the hell is he doing there?
Live in an evil country! No better than Nazi Germany or Soviet Union! Cry, mother girl! Cry! Ah! Oh! You piece of you're all guilty!
Driving at night often feels fun because the roads are clear, but this lack of traffic makes people dangerously complacent. This driver was traveling in a lane where a car had broken down and was sitting stationary. He would have been fine if he had kept his eyes on the road, but he was distracted by his phone. The video is short, so it's hard to tell exactly how long he was looking down, but he clearly wasn't paying attention for a significant stretch. He ended up hitting the broken down car because he was busy with his device. Luckily, no one was hurt in this collision, but it could have easily been a tragedy.
I'll beat you up! I'll beat you! Oh, what's that? What's that?
You guys all shooting, right?
Waiting longer than expected for your meal at a fast food joint can be frustrating. However, there has to be a better way to handle it than this, right? The woman took matters into her own hands, hopped behind the counter, and attempted to get her order faster. Authorities were notified and arrested the woman on the scene. A routine trip to the police station in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, took a violent turn when Benjamin Frogmere arrived to file a complaint against his neighbors. Officers quickly recognized the 30-year-old as a suspect in a recent $14 retail theft. When they attempted to arrest him, the lobby erupted into a brawl that spilled out onto the front lawn. Frogmere didn't just resist, he allegedly punched 2 female officers in the face.
So, have you been to Woodman's lately?
Not lately, why?
Not lately? Okay. So we actually have footage of you stealing some items from Woodman's. So you are under arrest at this time, so I have you turn around and place your hands behind your back.
I'm under arrest for coming in here for that?
Yes.
Nah, you don't have to wait. I gotta call my mother.
It's only gonna be quick.
Call her, bring your hand in.
Brandon, call my mom. 262.
Behind your back! Get your boy!
Body cam and surveillance footage capture the struggle as he desperately fights to avoid handcuffs, repeatedly demanding to call his mother.
1039, he's running. Get on the ground! Do it now! Get on the ground!
Get on the ground, do it now!
For what? I can't even
Get on the ground.
You gotta get tased?
No, let me call my mom.
Get on the ground.
You cannot do that.
Get on the ground.
You are under arrest.
Get on the ground.
Do you have a taser on you?
Police eventually had to use a taser multiple times to bring him to the ground. Both officers suffered visible injuries, including facial swelling and significant scrapes from the scuffle.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Put your hands behind your back! Get on the ground! No! Hands behind your back! He's gone!
I can't breathe.
I need this wrist.
Don't touch that.
I need this wrist.
Okay. Why am I getting arrested?
302, we are 1080. If anyone else can
Do
slow down.
anything.
What's up, dude? Do you need an ambulance?
No, please.
We'll send an ambulance for him. He said something hurts.
Oh god, I was on sleepy mode the whole time. I have it.
Alright, are you going to stop resisting now?
I just wanted to call my mom.
Oh my god, get an amble for her. Me too.
302, we'll take a second ambo for an officer. Was struck in the face, bleeding, conscious.
I just wanted to call my mom.
You good, Jess? Here, you good?
You good? I'm good.
Alright. You get hit?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you go over with Michelle then?
How many ambulances do we have coming?
2. Do we need a third?
Just we need an ambulance.
Why can't you breathe? Huh? We can roll him to his side.
Yep.
Roll him. Let's get these probes out.
Can I put gloves on?
Yep.
Or you guys good?
Who can take probes? Someone to glow up. We're gonna roll you on your side in just a second here.
Even after being restrained and taken to the hospital, Frogmere remained combative, insisting that his legal guardianship status meant he couldn't be arrested without his parents present. He made several erratic claims, ranging from being schizophrenic to accusing the officers of assault.
Alright, do not resist anymore.
Okay, here's one.
I literally came in for a formal complaint.
Well,
and nobody dealt with anything.
that went a little bit sideways, didn't it?
Yep. Can you call my mother?
No.
Absolutely not.
Not right now, dude.
Why?
You're an adult.
No, because I'm under guardianship.
Okay.
You physically cannot arrest me without that being done.
Watch us arrest you. You're under arrest,
you're physically
okay?
arrested,
You just punched a cop or 2 cops in the face.
I'm gonna sue you guys for this.
Okay, you do that. Get in line.
Oh, I've already won a few times against you.
Okay, I'm sure
You
you
ain't
have.
the first.
Okay.
Why didn't
Alright,
you
let's
anything?
roll in the other direction. We'll check the other pocket. Once you guys are good.
I'm wrapping him out of this.
Alright.
And this is excessive. It was not excessive.
You punched cops in the face.
I said I'm manic.
Okay.
Well, that's not an excuse, man.
There's plenty of people that are manic that
And when I asked to quickly call my mother, you guys would not even let me.
Too bad.
Alright, let's stand up. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I don't have the legs. I'm sorry.
Alright, well, then we'll lift you up. 1, 2, 3.
It's a $14 retail theft. Then decided to go nuts.
Oh, 15.
Yeah. We'll round up because there was some change in there.
Alright, I'm still waiting for you to call my folks. How old are you? 28, under parental guardianship and more. You cannot do anything to me without contacting my folks.
Okay, well, you're under arrest.
As per the jurisdiction of the states. I even said that, and then they hit me in the head with a baton. Nobody did.
Okay.
And I said I'm schizophrenic. No one wanted to listen to that either.
Care.
I don't think
they're bleeding because you punched them in the face.
I don't think we're trying to ask you any
Both
questions.
of them.
Well, call my folks.
No.
We'll get there.
I get one phone call and I get to call my folks due to this.
Okay.
Or they're gonna call them for me, and you guys are still gonna be in shit.
Okay.
Your name, sir?
Ben.
Ben. Hi, Dr. Anderson. What happened?
I literally went in to complain about my neighbors, and then they're trying to arrest me for something I didn't do. Go figure. Pigs in this state. As per what's on my thing, you have to call my folks, though. It's on the record on there, and they won't even allow me to call them. So please call them and have them come here ASAP. Or they're going to have to deal with 7 lawyers. Not even playing.
When an officer finally reached his mother, she didn't rush to his side. Instead, she gave permission for medical treatment and told the police she loved him but wanted him to stay calm.
Any questions for Mom?
I was just going to see if it's okay, if I can...
Is it okay if the hospital staff treats him? Yes. Okay.
bad,
They said
Ma.
please. Or she said
I
please.
want to come in and see it for yourself.
He's not thrashing around or doing anything excessive. He's obviously angry that he's in handcuffs.
The legal fallout from the fight was complex. While Frogmere was found guilty of several charges, a jury ruled he was legally insane during the felony battery offenses. This meant he couldn't be held criminally responsible for the most serious charges. Ultimately, he was committed to a mental health institute for 9 years. Would you have expected a $14 shoplifting case to end with a decade-long commitment? A video from Russia with a caption about catching a big fish turned out to be something much more explosive. Instead of a fish, the people involved discovered a torpedo while they were out on the water. It is a wild situation that raises the question of how someone even manages to hook naval weaponry while fishing. This isn't the first time people in the region have stumbled upon deadly military gear, like the famous video guys taking a sea mine from a beach. Finding a torpedo in the water is a dangerous surprise that requires immediate professional attention. These items are often still live and can be triggered by rough handling or movement. A truck reversing into a tight loading bay nearly pinned a pedestrian against the wall because the driver had significant blind spots and no guidance from a secondary worker. Loading docks are high-risk zones where heavy machinery and people often share the same cramped spaces, making strict safety procedures a matter of life and death. Every facility should require the use of a dedicated spotter who stands in a visible, safe position to guide vehicles and ensure that the path is completely clear of obstacles. Without these protocols, it is only a matter of time before a lack of communication leads to a tragic crushing accident between a vehicle and a stationary structure. Always maintain eye contact with drivers and wear high visibility clothing to ensure you are seen in these busy industrial environments. High-speed winds from a powerful typhoon caused a giant portal crane to break free from its safety moorings and barrel down its tracks toward the edge of the pier. The extreme force of the storm pushed the multi-ton structure along the rails until it completely overcame the mechanical braking systems and snapped through the emergency rail clamps. The entire crane eventually reached the end of the line and plunged into the churning sea, creating a massive splash and a total loss of the expensive port equipment. Port authorities must ensure that heavy cranes are properly locked and tied down with secondary storm chains when severe weather warnings are issued for the area. This footage shows the raw power in nature and the vulnerability of even the largest industrial machines when faced with hurricane-force winds. A hotel employee in Mexico investigated a room that was supposedly empty, only to find a pale, distorted face staring at her from the deep shadows. She summoned her courage to enter the unbooked room and record what she was seeing with her phone to provide proof to her manager.
Ahí se alcanza a ver una cara, unos ojos. Vamos a ver. Vamos a ver a esa habitación. Estamos subiendo las escaleras porque desde ahí es donde estábamos viendo que se veía. Aquí ya no se ve nada, a lo mejor por el reflejo de la luz. Y vamos a ver en la habitación. Aquí está la cama, porque esta es una habitación pequeña. Aquí pues no se ve nada. Y aquí está la tele donde estábamos, donde se supone que se veía, pero no se ve nada. No entiendo por qué se ve.
The video shows a figure tucked away in the corner that doesn't resemble a living human guest in any capacity or physical form. Since posting this disturbing footage to social media, the account has gone completely silent, leading to dark rumors about what happened to the staff member. Room 30 now stands as a grim warning to anyone brave enough to go looking for what hides in the dark corners of abandoned buildings. The hotel has reportedly seen a sharp decline in bookings for that specific floor following the viral spread of the video. A tragic video from Romania captures the final moments of a 31-year-old man who ignored every safety warning. He was riding an illegal bike without a license and had already fallen once before the recording began. Instead of stopping, he chose to race a train, a succession of errors that proved fatal. He lost control while trying to overtake and crashed directly into a concrete pillar. This footage is a grim reminder that life often gives a warning, but it rarely gives a second chance. Never operate a vehicle that you're not licensed to use, especially in dangerous conditions. Following traffic laws is about survival, not just avoiding a ticket. Are you willing to gamble your entire future on a few minutes of adrenaline? A demolition project nearly turned into a fatal disaster when a towering silo collapsed in the wrong direction, landing directly on top of the excavator. The operator was attempting to weaken the base of the structure when the entire mass of concrete and steel buckled, burying the heavy machinery under a mounted debris. Incredibly, reports indicate that the driver was able to climb out of the mangled cab with only a minor scratch on his arm, defying the odds of such a massive impact. This close call emphasizes the extreme unpredictability of structural demolitions and the need for remote-controlled equipment or longer safety perimeters when taking down tall buildings. It is a miracle that no one was killed during this botched attempt to clear the site for new improvement. In Minas Gerais, Brazil, a woman experienced a terrifying call on December 21, 2025. She was sitting with her nephew, but just seconds after the youngster left her lap, a heavy branch fell and struck her. The timing of the youngster's movement likely saved him from a very serious injury. The woman suffered only minor injuries despite the weight of the impact and is now recovering well. This incident shows how quickly a peaceful moment under a tree can turn into a medical emergency. Always look out for dead or hanging branches before you choose a place to sit or play with a youngster. High winds or previous storms can leave widowmakers hanging in the canopy. When was the last time you checked the trees in your favorite park for safety? This clip from a local gym is incredibly wild because the attack was completely unprovoked. The footage shows a man walking past someone who was lying on a bench working out. The man purposefully pretended to trip so he could slam a 45-pound dumbbell into the other man's face. The victim suffered a broken bone in his face and needed 5 stitches to close the wound. The attacker was caught and sentenced to 19 months in prison for his actions. There was absolutely no motive for this cruel and sudden assault. You should always be aware of the people moving around you in the gym, especially if they are carrying heavy weights. While most people are there to improve themselves, you can never be 100% sure about a stranger's intentions. If you see someone acting strangely or lingering too close to your workout area, move to a different machine. This victim was just trying to stay healthy when he was met with a life-changing injury. Gym management should always take reports of strange behavior seriously to protect their members from people like this. The National Zoological Park in New Delhi became the scene of a primal horror in 2014. This zoo is a major destination for families and is famous for its collection of rare white tigers. On September 23, a young man named MYUU Khan ended up inside the enclosure of a 7-year-old male tiger named Vijay. Vijay weighed nearly 470 pounds and stood 6 feet tall, making him a formidable predator despite being captive bred. The enclosure was designed with a grassy island and an 18-foot deep dry moat to keep animals and visitors separated. Witnesses were divided on how MYUU ended up in the moat. Some claimed he lost his balance while leaning over the edge, possibly while throwing stones at the tiger. Zoo officials, however, stated that he deliberately climbed over the safety barriers even after a guard tried to stop him. For about 15 minutes, the young man and the tiger were locked in a tense standoff. Footage shows the man crouched in the moat with his hands folded as if he were praying for his life. At first, the tiger seemed more curious than aggressive, simply watching the unexpected intruder. The situation turned deadly when the crowd of onlookers started throwing sticks and stones at the tiger to drive it away. Instead of helping, this noise and pelted debris agitated the animal. Disturbed by the commotion, Vijay suddenly pounced on the man, grabbing him by the neck and dragging him across the enclosure. The tiger paced around his territory while holding the victim, as shocked visitors recorded the attack on their phones. Zoo officials eventually moved the tiger into a cage, but it took 2 hours to recover the body. Many people felt the zoo didn't respond fast enough with tranquilizer guns, while officials claimed the attack happened too quickly to intervene. This tragedy shows why you must never cross safety barriers at a zoo, no matter how much you want a closer look. If you were a guard and saw a youngster trying to climb a fence, how far would you go to stop them? Burglaries happen every day, but it is rare to see a thief dressed so casually for the job. This surveillance footage shows a man wearing a bathrobe trying to crawl through a kitchen window. He managed to get stuck in the frame for almost a full minute, making for a very clumsy break-in attempt. When he finally noticed the security camera, he spent several moments staring directly into the lens. Based on his strange behavior and his choice of clothing, it's highly likely that substances were involved. He gave the police a perfect view of his face before he even made it inside. Hopefully, the youngsters who owned the toys seen in the yard were not home when this happened. Having a stranger in a bathrobe try to enter your house would be a terrifying experience for any young one. You should always lock your windows, even those on the second floor. A simple window lock can prevent an intruder from getting halfway inside your home. This video shows that not all burglars are masterminds, but they are all dangerous and unpredictable. In August 2021, families at the Lagoon Amusement Park in Utah witnessed a chilling event. This park is one of the oldest in the United States and has been a staple for family fun since 1886. The Skyride itself is a slow-moving chairlift that transports guests 60 feet in the air, offering a scenic view of the grounds. It operates just like a ski resort lift, where passengers pull a safety bar down across their laps. Despite daily safety inspections, a 32-year-old man ended up dangling 50 feet above the ground. The man had come to the park with family but chose to ride the Skyride alone that afternoon. Just before 6 p.m., witnesses began calling 911 to report a man hanging from the outside of his chair. He was gripping the safety bar with both hands, his body suspended over a tree-covered walkway. One witness recorded the scene on her phone, noting that the man appeared eerily calm and was not struggling to get back into the seat. He didn't call for help or move as his chair passed over a fountain. Before anyone could reach him, the man fell the full 50 feet to the ground below. The impact was devastating, and he was quickly airlifted to a hospital in Salt Lake City in critical condition. Sadly, he passed away 2 days later from the injuries sustained in the fall. An investigation by both the police and park officials determined that there was no mechanical failure with the ride or the chair. The police were never able to figure out exactly why the man put himself in that position or how he managed to slip out of the seat. While the fall did not appear intentional, the lack of a struggle left investigators with many unanswered questions. This incident is a somber reminder to always stay seated and keep safety bars locked until the ride comes to a complete stop. Have you ever felt uneasy on a high-up ride, even when the safety equipment was working perfectly? This footage from Atlanta, Georgia shows a group of young men walking down the street in the middle of the day. They reach a gas station and stop for a moment as if they're looking for something. It soon becomes clear that they were actually searching for a vulnerable victim to target. They found a car owner at the back of the parking lot and moved in quickly. They shot the owner and stole his vehicle before racing away from the scene. Tragically, the victim passed away, which turned this carjacking into a murder investigation. One of the attackers was caught immediately, but the others are still on the run from the law. You should always be extra careful when using gas stations that are poorly lit or have people loitering nearby. If you feel unsafe, drive to a different station in a busier area. Always keep your doors locked while you are pumping gas and stay off your phone so you can see who is approaching. The senseless act of violence took a life for a car that was likely abandoned just a few hours later. On November 30, 2025, visitors at the Arruda Camara Zoo in Brazil witnessed a scene that was as tragic as it was predictable. A 19-year-old named Gerson had a lifelong abnormal obsession with big cats. This interest was shaped by a difficult upbringing in government facilities and ongoing struggles with mental health. He once even tried to hide in the landing gear of a plane he thought was heading to Africa because he dreamed of becoming a lion trainer. On this specific day, Gerson managed to evade security and climb a 20-foot high fence. He then jumped onto a tree that connected to the lion enclosure where a large lioness named Leona was resting. Leona, noticing the intruder, moved toward the tree as visitors watched in horror. Gerson was still clinging to the branches when the lioness grabbed him with her paws and began to maul him. Park staff rushed to the scene and began screaming at the animal to get her to back away. Surprisingly, the training Leona had received worked perfectly. She obeyed the trainers and moved away from Gerson, but the damage was already done. The young man did not survive the attack. Experts noted that Leona didn't try to eat the body, likely because she had already been fed and was simply acting on her instinct to protect her territory from an invader. Because she showed restraint when cautioned, the park decided she would not be punished for the incident. The zoo was evacuated and closed while management expressed their condolences to the family. They stressed that their security team had tried to stop the man, but his determination to get close to the cats was too great. The story highlights the intersection of mental health struggles and the dangers of wild animals. If you see a youngster acting strangely near an animal enclosure, do you know how to alert the right staff members before things escalate? On December 23, 2025, a massive explosion rocked the A1 highway in Tano, Italy. A gas tanker collided with another vehicle and immediately burst into flames.
Ok ragazzi? I pompieri, colleghi, pompieri! Mi parlate così, Non mi chieda molto.
The force of the resulting blast was so intense that it tore craters into the asphalt and sent a shockwave through a nearby service station. Because firefighters acted quickly to evacuate the area before the final explosion, no one was injured. This event shows why you must always maintain a safe distance from large fuel trucks on the road. A single collision can turn a routine drive into a deadly landscape of fire and craters. The murder of Karen Buckley in 2015 was a story that horrified the people of Scotland. After she was offered a ride home, a 21-year-old man named Alexander Pacto killed her. He then tried to hide his crime by using caustic materials to dispose of her body. Surveillance video shows Pacto inside a shop casually buying the chemicals he planned to use. He looked like any other customer, but he was actually trying to erase the evidence of a brutal murder. His plan failed completely because investigators were able to track his movements through these very cameras. He was eventually caught and sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. This case is a reminder to never accept rides from strangers, even if they seem friendly or helpful. Always use a trusted taxi service or a ride-sharing app where the driver's information is recorded. If you're going out, make sure your friends know who you're with and when you plan to be home. This tragedy changed how many people in the area view personal safety at night. The 2017 Ohio State Fair was supposed to be a time of celebration, but the opening night turned into the worst tragedy in the fair's long history. This fair is massive, attracting over 1 million visitors every year and contributing nearly $70 million to the local economy. One of the most popular rides that year was a Fireball, an aggressive thrill ride that swung passengers 40 feet in the air. The machine was a pendulum-style ride that could spin riders at 13 revolutions per minute while they sat in 4-seat carriages. July 26, 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell and his girlfriend Keisha decided to give the Fireball a try. Tyler had just enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and was looking forward to starting his training. As the ride reached its highest point, a loud crashing sound echoed through the fairgrounds. An entire row of seats suddenly detached from the main arm, flinging the passengers through the air with extreme force. Witnesses watched as the seats were thrown 20 to 30 feet away from the ride structure. Tyler was thrown 50 feet into the air and unfortunately did not survive the devastating impact. His girlfriend and 6 other passengers suffered horrific injuries, including broken bones and internal trauma. Many of the survivors had no memory of the accident due to the shock and the speed of the event. An investigation later revealed that corrosion inside the ride support beam had caused the structural failure, which was hard to spot during regular visual inspections. The governor ordered all rides at the fair to be shut down immediately for re-inspection. This disaster led to new laws regarding how amusement rides are inspected and maintained to prevent similar tragedies. It's a terrifying thought that a ride can appear perfectly safe on the outside while being held together by rusted metal on the inside. When you take a youngster to a local fair, do you trust that the machines have been checked for more than just surface level wear? Just before sunset on Friday, December 19, 2025, deputies from the Imperial Beach Sheriff Station were dispatched to the 900 block of Seacoast Drive after reports of an unhoused man possibly suffering from a fentanyl overdose near the pier. The man was identified as 51-year-old Gary Gates, a familiar presence in the area who had been seen there many times before. When deputies arrived, they found Gates conscious, holding a 6-inch folding knife pressed against his own chest. He wasn't aggressive, but he was clearly distressed. Deputies began speaking with him calmly, creating distance and calling in additional resources, including the Psychiatric Emergency Response Team and the Sheriff's Crisis Negotiations Team. For several hours, they talked with him, trying to understand what he needed, offering medical care and mental health services. Eventually, Gates put the knife away. He told deputies he didn't want help. He didn't want treatment. He didn't want services. He also showed no signs of a medical emergency. With no immediate threat to the public and after hours of dialogue, deputies made the difficult decision to leave the area. At no point during that encounter did Gates threaten anyone. 2 days later, on Sunday afternoon, everything changed. Just after 1 p.m., the Sheriff's Communications Center received a 911 call. The man on the line identified himself as Gary Gates. He said he wanted to speak with a specific deputy.
What emergency?
Hi, this is Gary Gates. I'm at the pier in Imperial Beach. It's 10 Evergreen. Could you send Officer X to go out here to speak with me for a minute?
What's the emergency?
Can you please send Officer X to go out here?
I need to know what the emergency is.
I need to talk to him.
Okay.
Please.
You need to call the non-emergency line. I can give you that number.
Around that same time, deputies were already patrolling Seacoast Drive near the Imperial Beach Pier. That afternoon, the area was crowded. A community event was underway. Hundreds of people were nearby. Families, tourists, bystanders with no idea what was about to unfold. Just after 1:30 p.m., Gary Gates approached a group of deputies near the pier. Deputy Hammond recognized him immediately. Gates asked to speak with him and only him. When Deputy Hammond stepped forward to talk, Gates became agitated. He told the deputy to back off.
Gary, what's going on? 5101, everything's Seacoast. You alright, dude?
No.
What's going on?
I don't look.
You know,
I know.
I
apologize to you.
And I'll be with 7
Come on, don't.
Gary, what's going on, man? What's going on? Let's just have a conversation.
I want to talk to you.
Okay, then talk to me, dude.
I want to talk to you.
As he spoke, Gates began walking backward into the intersection, distancing himself while still facing the deputies. Then without warning, Gates produced a knife. He told Deputy Hammond to pull out his gun. He told him not to miss. As Gates turned and began advancing toward the deputies, knife in hand, commands rang out. Deputy Hammond repeatedly ordered him to drop the weapon. Gates refused. He kept coming. With the crowd nearby and no room left to retreat, Deputy Hammond fired several shots.
Okay, but
hey, would you do me a favor since this is going to be a crisis?
Okay.
I want you to get.
Let's just do it. Hey,
no,
Gary,
hey,
Gary,
back up.
Gary, you're not.
Back up.
Gary, you're
back
not.
up.
Oh, man.
Come on, get your gun out.
Gary,
Gun out.
Stop.
Come on.
Stop.
Don't miss, mother. Don't miss.
Stop.
Don't miss.
Hey, hang on.
Don't miss.
Gary,
Come on.
stay where you are. Go get a bean. Sorry, grab a bean bag in my car. Gary.
Yeah. Don't
Gary.
miss. Don't miss.
Gary.
Don't miss.
Gary.
Don't do it, Gary.
Gary.
71 shot fired. I forgive you. Hey!
Where's the knife?
It's
right there. All right.
What are you talking about?
Gary, what's going on?
5101 Evergreen Seacoast. You alright, dude?
No.
What's going on?
I don't look.
Negative.
No.
If you break me, I'll be
I apologize
Evergreen and
to you.
Seacoast, and I'll be with 71 Paul 1 or 5101.
Gary, what's going on, man? What's going on? Let's just have a conversation.
Evergreen
I
and
want
Seacoast.
to talk to you.
Okay, talk to me, dude.
I want to talk to you.
Okay, that's fine. You can talk to
Hey,
him.
would you do me a favor since this is going to be a crisis? I want you to get. No, okay, hey, back up. Gary, back up. Gary, back up.
Oh, hey, stop.
Gun out.
Stop.
Gary,
Hey, stop.
come on.
Stop.
Don't miss, don't miss.
Stop.
Don't miss.
Hey,
Don't miss.
Gary,
Yeah,
stop.
come on.
Stop.
Shoot.
71.5. We got
Gary,
one
yeah.
at gunpoint.
Don't miss.
No with a knife.
Don't miss.
Gary,
Don't miss.
Gary,
Gary.
don't do it, Gary.
Gary.
71.5 shots fired. Shots fired.
I forgive you.
Hey,
Where's the knife?
it's over there. It's over there.
Deputies immediately rushed in, disarming him and rendering emergency medical aid while waiting for paramedics to arrive. Gates was transported to the hospital, but he did not survive his injuries. What makes this incident especially unsettling isn't just the final moments caught on camera, it's the timeline, the warnings, the earlier encounter where everything seemed to end peacefully, the hours of conversation, the decision to walk away, and then the sudden return, this time in the middle of a crowded public space. Investigators later confirmed that Gates had not threatened anyone during the first encounter days earlier, but on that Sunday afternoon, with hundreds of people nearby, the situation escalated in seconds. A reminder of how quickly things can shift, how thin the line is between calm and chaos, and how sometimes, despite hours of effort, a tragic ending still finds its way into the daylight. It's rare to see this kind of extreme behavior at a McDonald's outside of the United States. This incident took place in Santiago, Chile late at night. A customer became furious when staff told him he would have to wait a few minutes for his food order. After a loud argument with the employees, a security guard forced the man out of the building. The man went to the parking lot, pulled out a gun, and began firing shots into the air. He spent several minutes cursing and threatening to kill the workers hiding inside. He eventually drove away, but the staff were left terrified that he might return to carry out his threats. You should never engage with an angry customer who is acting out of control. If someone starts making threats, retreat to a safe area, like a walk-in cooler or a back office, and lock the door. Call the police immediately and provide a description of the person and their vehicle. No fast food order is worth risking your life over a disgruntled and armed customer. In central Java, Indonesia, heavy rainfall recently triggered a massive flash flood in the Gusatiga Regency. The floodwaters rushed through the area, damaging vital infrastructure in several popular tourist destinations. You can see the power of the water as it sweeps away everything in its path during the first few seconds of the clip.
Banjir hari Sabtu malam Minggu. Meja kabeh pada kabeh ya Allah itu. Allah di Antara 13 gelap. Oke.
Thankfully, there were no casualties reported from this specific flooding event, despite the widespread destruction. This region often faces these types of disasters when the rains become too intense for the local landscape to handle. It shows just how fragile human settlements can be when nature decides to reclaim the land. This is another wild incident that appears to have absolutely no motive behind it. CCTV footage from Hertfordshire, England, shows a blue Mercedes parked in a private driveway. A man walks up to the luxury car, pours petrol over it, and sets it on fire before running away. Someone eventually showed up with a fire extinguisher to put out the blaze, but the car was already badly damaged. If the fire had spread, it could have easily reached the nearby house and put lives at risk. News reports called it a random act by an arsonist, which is even scarier scarier than being a specific target. You should consider installing motion sensor lights in your driveway to deter people from approaching your vehicles at night. A well-lit area is much less attractive to criminals who want to work in the dark. Also, having a high-quality security camera can help the police identify someone who is committing random acts of property damage. This owner lost a valuable car to a person they likely never even met, showing that crime can be completely random. Drivers in Costa Rica faced a scene of pure chaos on December 22, 2025, when a hay truck caught fire. To make matters worse, the burning vehicle lost its brakes and began speeding uncontrollably down the road. Other drivers had to accelerate rapidly to avoid being crushed by the flaming mass of hay behind them. One person suffered second-degree burns during the ordeal, but incredibly, no one died. Managing a heavy load like hay requires constant brake maintenance, especially on steep or winding roads. If you ever find yourself in front of a runaway vehicle, focus on finding a clear path away from its trajectory immediately. Do not try to brake or signal the driver, just prioritize your own escape route. Have you ever practiced an emergency acceleration maneuver in your vehicle? This video serves as a lesson that some people are simply and unnecessarily annoying to those around them. It features a prankster who decides to wake a sleeping man in a way that many would consider quite evil. Instead of letting the poor man enjoy his rest in peace, the prankster ruins the moment for a cheap laugh. Actions like this show a complete lack of respect for others and their personal space. Waking someone up in a jarring or frightening way isn't just rude, it can also cause unnecessary stress or physical reactions. It's a reminder that being kind to your neighbors is always a better choice than being a nuisance. Heavy rains in Georgetown, Malaysia combined with rotten roots to cause a massive 30-year-old tree to topple. The falling trunk struck a car and a motorcyclist who was traveling with a passenger. While the scene looked devastating, the two people on the bike luckily escaped with only minor injuries. Property owners should regularly inspect the health of large trees near public roads to prevent these accidents. Rotten roots are often visible from the surface but become a major liability during storms. When driving in heavy rain, be mindful of older trees that might be leaning or located on unstable soil. Natural disasters can happen without warning, so staying alert to your environment is your best defense. Do you know the signs of a dying tree on your own property? An unattended heavy-duty truck suddenly lurched forward with immense power, crashing directly into the surrounding facility infrastructure and causing significant structural damage. This type of incident usually happens when a vehicle operator forgets to set the air brakes or leaves the transmission in a forward gear while the engine remains active. The momentum of such a large machine makes it nearly impossible to stop once it begins to roll, posing a massive threat to any pedestrians or smaller vehicles nearby. You must always double-check your parking procedures and ensure the wheels are properly chalked when working on uneven surfaces or during loading operations. Late on the night of December 20, 2025, police in the quiet village in Newburgh Heights received an alert that immediately raised concern. An automated license plate reader flagged a vehicle moving through the area that had been reported stolen earlier in the day out of Parma. At first, it appeared to be a routine recovery, the kind of call officers handle countless times. But what they were about to discover would leave even seasoned responders stunned. An officer attempted a traffic stop along Harvard Avenue, expecting the driver to pull over. Instead, the vehicle accelerated. What followed was a brief but dangerous pursuit through residential streets, the kind of situation where every second matters and every wrong move can end lives. As the car sped westbound toward the Denison Bridge, the officer's worst fears were confirmed. The driver wasn't acting like a panicked adult trying to escape arrest. The movements were erratic, unpredictable, almost careless. Moments later, the vehicle made an abrupt turn. The driver lost control. The car veered off course and slammed into a nearby home with enough force to wake neighbors and send debris scattering across the yard. In the chaos that followed, the doors flew open and 3 figures bolted from the wreck, sprinting away into the night. Officers quickly caught up to them, and that's when the situation took an unsettling turn. The driver wasn't a hardened criminal. He wasn't even old enough to legally sit in the front seat of a car. Police determined the driver was an 11-year-old youngster. Inside the vehicle with him were 2 other young ones, ages 8 and 12. No disguises, no adult accomplice, just 3 youngsters who had somehow managed to steal a car and lead police in a chase that could have ended in tragedy.
Right now!
I'm sorry.
I have 2 in the backyard right now.
His name is Clarkin Del Paz. Screaming.
On the stomach now! On your stomach now!
Please.
Do not look at me! Where's the 3rd one?
He over there.
Stand by. Got 2 pruned out there complying. I'm getting you an address. Stand by. Do not look at me. Get on the ground. Do not look at me.
My mama.
Do not look at me. Stay on the ground. You're in there? Get over here now. Get over here now. Go. Just get on the ground. Stand by. I got all 3 now. Stand by.
I want to get...
3865 West 21st. Don't be reaching.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You come on.
3865 West 21st Street. 3 black juveniles pruned out. They are complying. Everyone show me your hands. You in the gray, show me your hands. Just lay on the ground. Just lay on the ground.
You got my mom.
3865 West 21st. I have 3.
Please. Please. Please don't hurt us. You call my mom?
We'll call parents in a second. You guys are doing good. Thank you for complying. Once I get all the units here, we'll detain everybody and we'll figure everything out.
Going to jail?
We're not going to jail right now. You're going to be detained, okay? Just keep on complying.
We need some more people that be in.
3865, it's at the middle of an intersection. There's a Jeep in the driveway with a white Kia. There's a white Jeep that just stopped in front of it.
Please help me. No!
You're right in front of it.
No, please. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me. I do, Mommy.
3 detained.
Please don't hurt me.
Okay. I got it.
Please don't hurt me.
I have a knife check.
No.
Hey, stop talking. Don't reach for anything. Put that down.
Please don't hurt me.
Hey, stop. Stop your crying. You should have thought about that before you got in that car.
I'm sorry, sir, please.
Okay, well, stop crying. You see anybody else crying?
No, I just want my mom.
Stay off your phone for a minute. I don't care. Stay off your phone.
Three detained. Slow it down. We're in front of 20. We're on West 21st. Go south on 21st from Denison, halfway down. No, you can't call anybody. You can't answer anybody.
I got it all in there.
Okay. Do you have any gun? Does anybody have any guns on you?
I don't tell guns.
Do you have any guns on you? What's your name? Take that off.
I got a shot in my head already. I don't tell guns.
You got a gun with you?
We don't tell guns.
Stand up. You don't tell guns, you just have fun. Don't reach for anything. Hey,
I'm just
relax.
This is our first time in the park.
Well, I could tell by the way that you drove. You suck at driving. Stand up. Second. Is anybody else trying?
Oh, I don't want my mommy, but.
Face the fence. Your mommy ain't gonna help you now.
I'm gonna laugh.
That was real funny, ain't it? Let's go. Real funny, ain't it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's not funny. All right. How old are you?
33.
You're 12 years old. Stealing cars? What the hell's wrong with you?
How many? Who wants two?
CPD's en route.
You want me to put one in?
Yeah.
One of your other guys will come up.
Yeah.
You check him.
Hey, buddy, come here. I don't know if you guys patted him on or not. You have anything on you?
No.
You guys have any weapons?
No.
You got $1 in this? Is this yours? Is this yours?
No.
Who did I take this from? This one and this one?
Yeah, you didn't get your phone. Sit down.
Whose is this one?
During questioning, officers asked the obvious question: how did they know how to steal a vehicle? The answer was chillingly simple. They said they learned how to break in and start the car by watching videos online. Step-by-step tutorials posted publicly, easily accessible. The kind of content most people scroll past without a second thought. Miraculously, no one inside the home was injured. The young ones weren't hurt either. Given their ages, they were released to their parents, with the case being handled through juvenile court. The damage went far beyond a stolen car and a wrecked house. This incident forced many to confront a disturbing reality. In a world where dangerous knowledge is only a click away, the line between curiosity and catastrophe has never been thinner. A late-night joyride could have ended with lives lost, and this time the outcome was mercy. Next time, it might not be. This terrifying recording shows a military firefighter who suffered a massive electrical discharge while attempting to retrieve birds trapped in high-voltage power lines. Even though rescue tools like poles are typically constructed from fiberglass to prevent conductivity, environmental factors like moisture, dirt, or microscopic surface cracks can turn them into deadly conductors. The sudden arc of electricity traveled through the equipment, resulting in a violent explosion of sparks and leaving the first responder in a critical state. It's vital for rescue teams to regularly perform dielectric strength testing on all their gear to ensure the insulating properties remain intact before approaching live wires. This serves as a grim warning about the hidden dangers of utility work and the importance of maintaining specialized safety equipment to the highest possible standards. Deputies in Atascosa County, Texas, were conducting a routine traffic stop when a terrifying collision occurred.
Car. Going to start a fire, Max. A couple units.
Jennifer, what's your... Is this 780?
460 and Stacy, we just got rear-ended.
It's 10-4.
Even though the patrol car had its emergency lights flashing, a truck failed to move over and struck the vehicle directly. The impact was heavy enough to crush metal, yet miraculously, no officers or civilians were harmed. This case is currently under investigation, but the footage serves as a vital warning for every driver. When you see emergency lights on the shoulder, you are legally and morally obligated to move over to the next lane. Failing to do so puts lives at risk for no reason other than a lack of attention. Slow down and create space whenever you see flashing lights ahead of you. How much extra time does it really take to switch lanes for someone's safety? This shocking footage comes from Germany, where a massive water attraction at a major theme park collapsed right in front of thousands of terrified spectators. Europa Park is located in the town of Rust, nestled in the southwestern region near the borders of France and Switzerland. This is not just any local amusement park. It is the largest theme park in Germany and holds a reputation as one of the most popular tourist destinations in all of Europe. In 2024, the park saw a record-breaking 6 million visitors, mostly traveling from surrounding countries to experience its 15 European-themed areas and fantasy sections. One of the featured attractions at the time was a spectacular acrobatics show called Retorno dos Piratas, which means Return of the Pirates in Portuguese. This 20-minute professional performance featured world-class divers and acrobats performing extreme synchronized jumps from towering platforms. These athletes would leap from heights of up to 80 feet, landing precisely in a mobile pool that was only about 10.5 feet deep. The show had been a staple for years, running successfully with a team that demonstrated incredible skill every single day. Everything changed on August 14, 2023 during an afternoon performance. While the show was in progress, the mobile pool that served as a centerpiece suddenly gave way. As the basin cracked open, the heavy scaffolding and diving towers attached to the walls began to buckle and fall. Video captured by visitors showed the horrifying moment the entire structure gave out beneath the performers. The scene turned chaotic as thousands of gallons of water rushed out, flowing directly into the nearby Atlantica Super Splash ride. This created a secondary danger as debris floated into the river's lake, forcing the boats to a standstill to avoid collisions. The accident resulted in 7 injuries, including 5 professional acrobats and 2 visitors. 3 of the performers were taken to the hospital for observation, though the full extent of their injuries was not immediately shared with the public. Investigators spent the following days trying to figure out if this was a structural failure or a maintenance oversight. While the diving show was canceled for good, the rest of the park remarkably reopened the very next day. A woman contacted Grand Rapids police to report a domestic situation involving a gun. She told officers that a 51-year-old man she knew had made threatening statements, leaving her genuinely afraid for her safety. When officers first went to the home, the man refused to come to the door or speak with them. With no immediate contact and no confirmed crime at that moment, officers were forced to leave, uneasy but unable to intervene further. Hours later, the situation escalated. The same woman called 911 again, this time sounding far more alarmed. She told dispatchers the man was intoxicated, armed, and sending disturbing messages that suggested he might hurt himself or someone else. Officers immediately returned to the neighborhood, now treating the call as a potentially deadly situation rather than a simple welfare check. As officers carefully staged their response near the home, they suddenly saw the man exit the house, get into a vehicle, and begin driving away. Given the reports that he was armed, intoxicated, and making threats, officers made the decision they couldn't let him leave the area unchecked. Allowing him to drive off meant risking the safety of anyone he had mentioned in his messages, as well as anyone he might encounter on the road. Officers initiated a traffic stop in Tremont Boulevard. Body cam footage shows patrol cars positioning themselves while commands are shouted clearly and repeatedly. Officers ordered the man to turn off the vehicle and show his hands. For a brief moment, it appeared he might comply, but within seconds, everything changed.
Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Turn the car off! Cover! Cover! Drop it! Drop the gun!
Without warning, the man opened fire from inside the vehicle. Multiple gunshots erupted almost instantly, echoing down the street. Officers barely had time to react before returning fire, taking cover and responding to what had become an active deadly threat. The entire exchange lasted only seconds, but in that short span, dozens of rounds were fired.
He's slowed us down. Closer to him? Yeah.
Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Turn the car off! Cover! Cover! Drop it!
He's slow to stop. Closer. Closer to him? Yep. We stop.
Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Shut off the car! Turn the key. The car off! Cover! Cover! Drop it! Drop the gun! Crawl away from the gun! Cover! Are you okay? You good? Are you okay? I'm good!
We're facing southbound towards Mount Mercy. Suspect's down. I don't see the gun.
You sure you got to do it?
When the gunfire stopped, officers moved in cautiously. The man had been struck multiple times. He was removed from the vehicle and rushed to a nearby hospital, but despite emergency medical care, he later died from his injuries. No officers were physically injured during the shooting. State police have since taken over the investigation, as is standard protocol in officer-involved shootings. As more information came out, family members revealed that the man had been struggling deeply in months leading up to the incident. They said he was dealing with intense emotional pain following the unsolved killing of his son, a loss that had reportedly sent him into a spiral of grief, anger, and despair. According to relatives, he had recently expressed volatile behavior involving a firearm and had shown signs that he was not in a stable mental state. What began as a domestic concern turned into deadly confrontation in a matter of seconds, highlighting just how quickly situations involving firearms and emotional distress can spiral out of control. This body cam footage captures one of the most dangerous moments officers can face: a traffic stop that lasts only seconds, a decision made in an instant, and consequences that can never be undone. A seemingly solid brick pillar in a public area collapsed without warning, revealing the hidden dangers of decorative masonry that lacks internal structural support. Many of these freestanding columns are built for aesthetic purposes and do not contain the steel reinforcement bars necessary to withstand lateral force or long-term environmental degradation. Over many years, exposure to heavy rain and constant ground vibrations can weaken the mortar joints until the entire structure becomes a tipping hazard for any passersby. This incident highlights the need for regular inspections of older buildings and public walkways to identify the signs of leaning or cracking before a tragedy occurs. If you notice a brick structure that appears unstable, you should keep young ones far away from the area until a professional can verify the integrity of the base. Darkness can be found anywhere online, even in places that are designed to look harmless. Travel vlogs are often seen as comforting escapes, featuring beaches, local food, and adventure. However, every now and then a channel appears that uses the idea of travel as a disguise for something much darker. One of these channels belongs to a man named CM, who runs a page called Pro Life Traveler. According to him, he left his European life to live in the Philippines, meeting locals and living freely on the road. At a glance, it looks like any other travel channel with busy markets and friendly strangers. But a closer look at his video titles reveals a pattern that has alarmed thousands of viewers. He uses titles that are openly disturbing and suggestive.
We are in Tanhai City. Hello, Miss. Kamusta ka? Hi. Miss, do you know where I can cut my nails? Do you know some good place?
There's a nail salon, right? We just take 2 blocks. You will see like a residential hotel, and then just take a right.
But what about in public marketplace?
Oh yeah, there is, but I'm not sure if it saves the hygiene.
Oh really?
I mean, so, but if you just need to cut your nails,
then it's I think good. Okay.
It's pretty much fine.
Thank you, Miss. Hayo, kumusta mo? Hello, Miss. Then where the hell is the food? Hello, Miss. Hello. Where's the food? Food. Food.
What?
Food. Food. Where?
Food. Yeah.
Where is it? Hello. Kumusta mo?
One of the most troubling videos features a young local woman who he claims has just turned 18. What follows in the video is not cultural appreciation at all. Instead, it shows a man acting friendly while openly objectifying her and sexualizing their interaction.
Are you still single?
Yes, I'm ready to mingle.
Ready to mingle?
Yeah, joking.
So you're a chef also?
Yes, but my sister cooked that.
Okay. You look very beautiful, as always.
Where are you going?
I just came here. I did manicure.
Where?
Levi's. Yeah, look how beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this. Let me see your fingernails.
Yeah, it's very dirty.
It's good. Where's your sister?
Inside.
Oh, she's the one. Well, why you don't have a boyfriend? Why you don't have a boyfriend?
I don't like to enter a relationship.
Why? But do you want to have a foreigner boyfriend?
Yes.
Really?
Joke.
Yeah. You are such a good girl. You are such a good girl. You deserve a good man.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me you're cooking, cleaning.
He frames her youth as a selling point for his audience, and his behavior gets worse with every minute captured on camera.
Did you read the comments? What people said bad about you?
They think I'm a gold digger.
Bye-bye. What the hell was that?
But you don't like to eat.
I'm full. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you. One day. One day. So guys, we're gonna go check back to the banana village. Let's say hello to the friends. Hello. ¿Cómo está? Oh, you look so beautiful. You look very guapa. No, you look very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
How about you? I'm okay also.
Like, you're so handsome and tall.
Oh, thank you, miss. You are also very guapa. Very guapa. Oh, wow. Hello, ¿cómo está acá? How old are you?
Oh, Mama. Wala, good to see you.
Are you twins? Are these your children? These are your children?
Oh, there. At the back.
So you have a negosyo?
Yeah, small.
Kamai negosyo? But do you also live here?
Huh?
You live here upstairs, right?
Yeah.
You have a cute house.
Yeah.
Are you single?
Now?
Where's your boyfriend?
Husband is yeah.
Oh, upstairs. Okay. How are you? What?
Yeah, pick some fresh book or
Fresh book? Oh. Yeah, sure. Let's do this. Let's do it. I think I will start going back to the Tumakete. Then I will be exactly home by 6, and Selina will be very, very happy. It's 55. Almost. I don't know how many minutes, but that's how much it takes to drive from Tanhai to Tumakete. ¿Cómo está?
Come home.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you happy I came exactly?
Yeah, of course. If you promise, huh?
You got my little paiut. 1, 2, 3. Come here. Little pata. Look at this. Look at this. That's my baby boy. That's a big bully. He's gonna be a big bully.
Why bully?
He's gonna kick all the Filipino boy ass.
Throughout his content, CM treats women like products rather than people. He frames these inappropriate and disrespectful actions as entertainment for his viewers to laugh at.
Ayo, Maina Poon, kumusta mo? Are you shy? Shy on the camera. Last time I was over there, there was one whole Rotsa came to me right away, tried to offer her services. She was quite young, 24 years old, and she charged 1,500 pesos. Hey, how are you? Kumusta mo? What are you guys doing? What?
We're sorry, but we're
Why your voice is like that? Why your voice is so deep?
Because I am a trans girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a naturally born woman.
Okay. What about you guys? Are you real one?
Yes. Yeah, very real.
But you guys don't want to be a boy. You guys don't want to be a boy. But in the Philippines, why is like that? That the guys want to be a girl.
Because it's not a choice.
But the girl doesn't want to be a boy. Why is it like that?
It's a choice. Something like that. Questioning my gender identity or my sexual preferences.
Wallah, don't get offended.
Yeah, I already get offended.
Really? Why?
Because you're questioning about my gender. It's about gender sensitivity.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry.
But it's okay.
I didn't want to offend you.
Because not everyone have enough wide vocabulary about that.
Yeah, my English is so bad. I'm very stupid, guys. Guys, they know I'm stupid.
But,
yeah.
Just want you to be aware of your words, because not all people are aware of your.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. Have a guys good day. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Guys, I offended the lady boy. What are you doing? Miss?
Want to go coffee?
Are you a pok-pok? Pila? Pila USA hour? 1K?
You're very nice.
Very nice. And you are you the pimp?
Ah?
Are you the pimp?
No.
You are.
Yeah, is
But how old is he?
Pala na ka gani, nak? Pila ka na gani? 21.
21. Okay,
Yes.
maybe later. Maybe later. Okay. Okay, maybe later. So hello. So 21 years old for 1,000 pesos.
He brags about how easy it is to approach young women in the city and jokes about how cheap their time is. The camera often lingers on women who clearly did not consent to being filmed and look visibly uncomfortable. Many viewers have called out his behavior in the comments, describing it as predatory and exploitative. They question why a grown man is wandering around filming and sexualizing strangers who appear to be barely adults or even younger. This is not real travel content. It's a man broadcasting inappropriate behavior under the guise of exploration. It normalizes a pattern that puts vulnerable women at risk and hides the horror in plain sight behind fake charisma. During a routine delivery, a massive industrial machine slid off its transport ramp because the crew failed to perform an adequate risk assessment before starting the offloading process. This was not a random accident, but a predictable failure caused by neglecting the center of gravity and slippery surface conditions of the metal ramps. Every time you move heavy equipment, you must identify every potential hazard and ensure the load is properly secured with winches or secondary safety chains to prevent a runaway scenario. The heavy cargo crashed onto the pavement, narrowly missing the feet of the workers who were standing much too close to the drop zone. Proper training in load dynamics and the use of spotters can prevent these expensive logistical failures that jeopardize the safety of everyone on the job site. A massive concrete pump truck suffered a catastrophic stability failure during a major construction pour, causing the entire vehicle to tip onto its side as the boom extended. As the heavy arm reached out to deposit material on the further slabs, the shifting weight caused the center of gravity to move outside the safety footprint of the machine. This usually happens when the stabilizer outriggers are placed on soft, uncompacted soil or not fully deployed according to the manufacturer's strict safety specifications. The boom crashed down onto the framework, causing thousands of dollars in damage and nearly crushing the ground crew working below. Always ensure that you use heavy-duty outrigger pads and verify ground stability to keep these massive machines upright during complex aerial maneuvers. Just after midday on November 17, 2025, a routine patrol call quickly spiraled into a life-or-death confrontation. Officers from the Topanga Patrol Division were dispatched to the 83 block of Northgate Avenue following reports of an assault involving a firearm. According to the initial radio traffic, a man had pointed a gun directly at another person and then fled the area.
LA City 911. Hello? This is an emergency. There's a man with a gun. He was pointing at us.
What's the address?
83 Northgate Avenue. The police is just like nearby.
83. What did he do?
83 Northgate Avenue. He has a gun. He was pointing at us. We just ran, but he's there. There was another lady that he was pointing at too.
Where? Okay, is he black, white, Hispanic, Asian?
Well, sorry, say that again.
Is he black, white, Hispanic, Asian?
He's white.
What color shirt and pants was he wearing?
Black. I think he has a jacket. Black and
black jacket?
Black pants. Yes.
Black jacket, black pants. Okay, stay on the line for me. I'm going to dispatch officers, okay?
Both. He's both.
Both?
He doesn't have hair.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't hang up. Hair. Don't hang up. I'm going to dispatch officers, okay?
Okay. Okay.
A As officers arrived on scene, they immediately spotted the man, later identified as 27-year-old Marcus Hayes, running past them. He was holding a firearm in his hand. Officers shouted for him to stop and drop the weapon, but Hayes ignored every command and continued running, triggering a foot pursuit through the surrounding apartment complex.
I saw that guy in all black right here, but I can't see. I just saw clothes.
Oh, yeah, he's bald too.
Yeah. Oh, he's got tattoos all over his face, bro.
Hey, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. Don't move.
X46, we're code 6 on the suspect. Give me a backup, 415 man with a gun. We're right in front of Nate's Cafe. Lift up your hands. Hands in the air. All the way up. All the way up. All the way up.
Hey, can you leave me alone, dog? I'm on probation.
Hey, don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Don't reach for it! Okay, we gotta go less lethal. Okay. Go!
Hey! He's got a gun,
He's got a gun, guys!
Shit! Hey, drop it! Yo! Hey! Hey! Drop it!
Body cam footage shows officers chasing Hayes as he weaves between buildings, cutting through walkways and corners where visibility drops to almost nothing. The tension is immediate. At any moment, officers could round a corner and come face to face with an armed suspect.
Drop it! Drop it now!
20-5, he's northbound Northgate, 83. Get on the ground now!
After several seconds, Hayes emerges back onto the Northgate Avenue and suddenly stops. Instead of surrendering, Hayes turns and faces the officers head on. The firearm is still in his hand. Officers can be heard repeatedly yelling for him to drop the weapon, their voices growing sharper as the distance closes.
Get on the ground now! Drop it! Drop it now! Drop it now! Air Force One! Drop it now! I'm gonna shoot you! I'm doing this. Drop it! It's all right! It's all right! Drop it now! Drop it now! It's okay! I'm gonna help you! Hey! It's not a big deal! Nothing happened! Hey! Nothing happened! You're not in trouble! You're not in trouble! Okay, drop it! Okay, drop it! Drop it or you're not in trouble right now! I don't want to hurt you! Don't be stupid!
Then, without warning, Hayes raises the gun and fires. In that instant, the situation crosses a deadly threshold. Officers return fire, believing their lives are in immediate danger. The sound of gunshots echoes between the buildings as Hayes throws the weapon into the street and raises his hands, signaling surrender only after shots have already been exchanged.
Don't be stupid! Drop it now, bro! Come on! Hey! I'm gonna take care of you, bro! Trust me! Trust me, bro! Trust me, bro! Hey! I'm gonna take care of you, bro! Hey, you're fine! Hey! Let me help you! Let me help you! Drop it now! Shots fired! Shots fired! Officer needs help! Get down! Get down! Drop it! Drop it! Get on the ground now! Drop it! Air Force One! Drop it now! I'm gonna shoot you! Drop the gun or I'm gonna shoot you! It's alright, drop it now! Watch crossfire! Crossfire, crossfire! I'm gonna help you! Bump, 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 bump! It's not a big deal, nothing happened, hey! Nothing happened, you're not in trouble! You're not in trouble, okay, drop it, okay, drop it! Drop it! Drop the gun! You're not in trouble right now! I don't wanna hurt you! Don't be stupid! Don't be stupid! Drop it now, bro. Come on. Hey, I want to take care of you, bro. Hey, drop it! Drop it or I'm gonna shoot you! Drop me, bro. Hey, I'm gonna take care of you, bro. Hey, let me help you. Let me help you. got it. Get out of here.
Miraculously, despite firing at officers, Hayes is not struck by any rounds. No officers or bystanders are injured during the exchange. When police secure the scene, they recover a loaded 9mm semi-automatic handgun and a 15-round magazine from the street where Hayes discarded it moments earlier. What makes incidents like this especially unsettling is how quickly they unfold. In the span of just a few minutes, a radio call turns into a chase, then into an armed confrontation, and finally into an officer-involved shooting. One decision, one movement, one trigger pull is all it takes to change everything. The investigation into the shooting was turned over to standard review protocols, but for the officers involved, the memory of standing face-to-face with an armed man who chose to fire first is not something that fades easily. It's another reminder that in moments like these, there are no second takes and no guarantees that everyone will walk away alive. A warehouse worker made a life-threatening mistake by trying to manually stop a massive pallet of water as it began to slide off a delivery truck's lift gate. With a total weight exceeding several hundred kilos, it's a physical impossibility for a human to hold up the load, yet instinct often leads people into these dangerous crush zones. You must never place your body between a falling object and the ground, as the momentum will easily overcome any amount of physical strength you possess. This incident underscores the absolute necessity of staying clear of moving parts and allowing a load to fall rather than risking your life to save the product. These types of loading dock accidents are far too common and usually result in permanent disability or worse for the employees involved. In the freezing wilderness of the Soviet Union in 1959, 9 experienced hikers vanished under circumstances that still defy logical explanation. These were not amateurs, they were highly disciplined students from the Ural Polytechnical Institute aiming for their highest certifications. After a 10th member, Yuri Yudin, turned back due to health issues, the remaining group pressed toward Mount Kholat Shako. Search teams eventually found their tent sliced open from the inside, suggesting a desperate need to escape a sudden threat. The youngsters had fled into negative 30-degree temperatures without shoes or proper outerwear, leading to their inevitable demise. Investigators found bodies with baffling injuries, including fractured skulls and missing facial tissue, while some clothing showed traces of unexplained radiation. You have to wonder what could possibly terrify such elite explorers enough to make them choose a certain death in the snow over staying inside their only shelter. The mystery of the Dyatlov Pass continues to haunt researchers because no single theory accounts for the combination of physical trauma, radiation, and the frantic flight of the victims. It started with a Russian 911 calls coming in just after 1:30 in the afternoon. Multiple callers were reporting the same thing, a man standing near the intersection of 42nd Avenue South and South Othello Street, openly waving a gun in public.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
Hey, you guys better send somebody quick, man. There's a dude walking up the hill on Othello between Rainier. He walking up Othello from Rainier, and he got a gun. He got a gun in his hand, and he just pointed at everybody that drive by.
Seattle police officers responded quickly and located the man still holding the firearm. From the moment they made contact, officers began issuing commands telling him to drop the weapon and show his hands. Their voices were calm but urgent. This was a situation that could turn deadly in seconds, and everyone involved knew it. The man didn't comply. Instead of lowering the gun, he raised it toward the officers. In that moment, de-escalation was no longer possible. Fearing for their lives and the safety of everyone nearby, officers opened fire. One officer discharged a handgun while another fired a patrol rifle. The gunshots echoed through the street as bystanders scattered for cover.
Move. Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop the gun! Drop it! Drop the gun! Hey! Coming up behind you!
Gonna be on his back.
Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Hey! Behind you!
Even after being shot, officers reported that the man was still holding on to the weapon. In an effort to stop the threat without further lethal force, police deployed a 40mm less lethal round. The impact knocked the gun from his hand, finally separating him from the weapon. With the immediate danger neutralized, officers rushed in and began rendering medical aid. CPR was started on the pavement as additional units secured the scene. Despite their efforts, the man was pronounced dead at the location. His identity has not yet been released. No officers were physically injured during the encounter, but the chaos didn't end there. A bystander inside a nearby apartment building was struck by shattered glass caused by the gunfire. That person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries and is expected to recover. In a matter of moments, an ordinary afternoon turned into a fatal police shooting. What began as reports of a man with a gun ended with a life lost, a neighborhood shaken, and unanswered questions lingering in the air. As investigators now review the incident, the body cam footage tells a chilling story of how fast a tense situation can spiral and how little time there is to stop it once it does. Gloria Ramirez entered a California hospital in 1994 and inadvertently triggered a medical emergency that sounds like a plot from a science fiction film. Known widely as a toxic woman, Gloria was a 31-year-old mother battling advanced cervical cancer who simply wanted to maintain a normal life for her young ones. When she arrived at the ER with heart palpitations, the medical staff noticed an oily sheen on her skin and a powerful garlic scent on her breath. As a nurse drew her blood, a strong ammonia odor filled the air, and small crystals appeared inside the syringe, causing multiple staff members to collapse instantly.
Asked the nurse to start an IV that about coincidentally at the same time I smelled, ammonia. To me it was ammonia. And I kind of made a comment that, that's really strong ammonia.
The entire wing required a full evacuation as workers suffered from fainting, nausea, and even long-term tremors after being near her body. Scientists later theorized that a home remedy Gloria used for pain reacted with scientific equipment to create a rare poisonous gas. This tragic event remains a chilling example of how little we sometimes understand about the chemical reactions that can occur within the human body under extreme stress. Armin Meiwes became a global name for the most disturbing reasons after he turned a dark internet fantasy into a horrific reality in a remote German farmhouse. Raised by a controlling mother, Meiwes grew up feeling isolated and began creating imaginary friends that he eventually fantasized about consuming to make them a permanent part of himself. In 2001, he posted an online advertisement seeking a volunteer to be slaughtered and eaten, a request that was shockingly answered by an engineer named Bernd Brandes. The two met and recorded the entire gruesome process on video, which Meiwes later described as a way to achieve a perfect inner connection with his victim.
Emailing and chatting on the internet since January, and we talked about exactly what he would.
He lived with the remains in his freezer for months, consuming the flesh as if it were a standard meal until a youngster in Austria saw his messages and alerted the authorities. This case forced the legal system to grapple with the complexities of consensual crimes that fall outside the typical definitions of murder. It serves as a grim reminder of the dark corners of the internet where the most depraved human impulses can find a voice. Inside a gym in Santa Catarina, Brazil, what started as a typical day of people lifting weights and following their routines suddenly spiraled into chaos. It began with something almost absurdly small, an argument over a workout machine. One member, a man known both for past legal trouble and a habit of stirring confrontation, became irritated when another gym-goer used equipment he wanted. Voices rose. A physical fight broke out. Before it escalated further, a personal trainer rushed in, using his strength and training instincts to restrain the aggressive member until he calmed down. But the situation didn't end there. Moments after being released, the man stormed out of the building. Those who saw him leave hoped the incident was over. Instead, he returned with a pistol. Without hesitation, he opened fire and shot the trainer in the leg. Panic swept through the gym as people dove for cover, screaming and scattering between machines. What the gunman didn't expect was that an off-duty corrections officer had been working out nearby. The officer reacted with instinctive precision, drawing his service weapon and firing in defense, incapacitating the attacker before he could shoot again. The officer immediately called for medical assistance, securing the weapon and ensuring no further threat remained. The wounded trainer was rushed to the hospital, treated, and thankfully released without long-term injury. The shooter survived as well, but was taken into custody and later charged in an attempted homicide case. Security footage captured every second of the incident and is now a crucial part of the official investigation. In Lahore, Pakistan, what should have been an ordinary day suddenly became a street-level nightmare when an 11-month-old pet lion escaped from a private residence. The moment the massive young predator leapt over the property wall, panic rippled across the neighborhood. Security camera footage shows the lion landing on the pavement and immediately lunging toward a woman who had been walking nearby. It knocked her to the ground with terrifying ease, digging its claws into her as she screamed for help. A nearby man sprinted over, waving his arms and shouting in an attempt to scare the lion off. The animal hesitated for only a moment before turning its attention toward her two young ones, around 5 and 7 years old, who were standing just feet away. The lion swiped at them, injuring their arms and faces as they tried desperately to break free. The scene was pure chaos, the kind of unfolding terror most people only witness in wildlife documentaries. Emergency responders transported all 3 victims to the hospital, where thankfully it was confirmed that none were in critical condition. Meanwhile, the lion's owners attempted to escape with the animal by loading it into a van, but authorities intercepted them within 12 hours. Officials determined the lion had been kept illegally, setting off a much larger crackdown. In the days that followed, 18 lions across Punjab province were seized from illegal owners, and 8 people were detained for harboring exotic wildlife without permits. The captured lion from this incident was placed in a wildlife park, where staff reported it appeared healthy and unharmed despite the chaos it caused. May 18, 1980. On paper, it was a calm Sunday morning in southwestern Washington state. Blue sky, clear air, Mount St. Helens standing on the horizon like it always had. Except anyone paying attention knew it wasn't the same mountain anymore. For weeks, the volcano had been waking up. Small earthquakes, venting steam, a bulge growing on its northern flank, pushing outward several feet every day like the side of the mountain was slowly being inflated from within. 48-year-old photographer Robert Landsberg had been watching all of it. Living in Portland, Oregon, he'd made trip after trip to the area, documenting each change. He wasn't a thrill seeker, he was meticulous, setting up shots, logging notes, trying to turn his unfolding event into a visual record. On the night of May 17th, he wrote in his journal that he felt right on the verge of something. The next morning, he drove his 1969 Dodge station wagon to a ridge about 4 miles from the summit. From there, the volcano filled his frame perfectly. He set up his tripod, mounted his camera, started shooting. At 8:32 a.m., that something arrived. A magnitude 5.1 earthquake struck beneath the mountain. Through his viewfinder, Landsberg saw the unimaginable. The entire north side of Mount St. Helens peeled away and collapsed in a massive landslide. That collapse uncorked pressure inside. Instead of a classic vertical eruption, a sideway blast tore out of the mountain. The explosion released an estimated 24 megatons of thermal energy, the equivalent of more than 1,600 Hiroshima-sized bombs. A lateral blast of superheated gas, ash, and rock ripped across the landscape at over 300 miles per hour. Forests didn't just burn, they were flattened. Trees snapped like matchsticks and were thrown to the ground, all pointing away from the blast like blades of grass in a gale. Most people in the blast zone never had a chance to react. Landsberg did something different. He kept photographing. Frame after frame, he captured the eruption's early seconds, the ash cloud ballooning upward, the shock wave chewing through the forest, the sky turning from blue to gray in a matter of heartbeats. But he knew exactly what was coming toward him. He knew how fast that pyroclastic flow was moving, and he knew there was no outrunning it from where he stood. So he made a decision. Instead of trying to escape, he focused on saving what he'd already recorded. He rewound the film in his camera. He placed the camera in his backpack, then he laid down on top of it, using his own body as a shield against the incoming blast. Moments later, the pyroclastic flow hit. Temperatures inside the flow had been estimated at over 800 degrees Fahrenheit. The air wasn't just hot, it was lethal. Superheated ash and gas tore across his position, killing him instantly and burying him under layers of volcanic debris. He became one of 57 people who lost their lives that day. For 17 days, his body lay where he fell. On June 4th, rescue and recovery teams found him. When they moved his remains, they discovered the backpack underneath, damaged, scorched, but still intact enough to protect the film inside. Incredibly, the film could still be developed. Those images were later published, including in National Geographic. They became some of the most important visual records of the eruption's early moments. Scientists used them to better understand how the blast unfolded, how fast it moved, and how it transformed the mountain in seconds. Other observers died that day as well. Photographer Reed Blackburn, working closer to the summit, was overtaken by the blast. His camera and film were destroyed by heat. USGS volcanologist David A. Johnston, stationed 6 miles away, radioed his final words, "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it." Seconds later, his position was swallowed too. What set Landsberg apart wasn't that he was there, it was what he chose to do when he realized he wasn't getting out. He turned his final moments into a shield for his work, so the rest of the world could see what a volcano like this truly looks like in the instant it explodes. Mount St. Helens lost about 1,300 feet of its summit that day. A horseshoe-shaped crater replaced the once symmetrical peak. The surrounding landscape was rearranged. Forests flattened, river channels changed, ash spread over multiple states. And somewhere beneath all that destruction, one man lay on top of a backpack, having decided that if he couldn't survive the story, he could at least make sure the story survived. The final clip was filmed in late October of this year at a market in Baghdad, Iraq. The market appears busy and crowded, full of stalls and people, everyday life, commerce, noise. Then something goes wrong. Smoke starts to rise. At first, it's not clear how serious it is, but it builds fast, much faster than you'd expect from a small fire. Thick smoke billows upward and over the people recording. The camera is right there on the ground, so you see the smoke from below, not from a safe distance or a high vantage point. For a brief moment, a rainbow appears through the haze, created by light cutting through the particles. It's an eerie contrast, something beautiful appearing in the middle of something potentially deadly. What makes the clip unsettling is how quickly the situation escalates and how close the person filming is to it all. From what can be found so far, there are no clear reports confirming casualties, which suggests it may not have been a mass fatality event. But because detailed coverage is limited, nothing can be said with total certainty. All the viewer is left with is a disturbing image of dense smoke rolling through a crowded market and the uneasy feeling of not knowing how bad it truly got. This next encounter follows Morazvi, one of the most intense and fearless paranormal explorers on YouTube, as he investigates what he claims is one of the most spiritually dangerous apartments he's ever entered. Known for tracking ghosts and demonic entities across Russia and Eastern Europe, Morazvi rarely backs down, but this time even he admits he may have gone too far. The apartment has a notorious reputation. Former tenants reported shadowy figures, objects moving on their own, disembodied voices, and sudden drops in temperature, even during the summer. Some neighbors claim they heard growling coming from within the walls. Most people fled and never returned. Morazvi didn't just come to observe, he came to make contact. Entering late at night, he was armed with multiple cameras, an EMF detector, a thermal imager, and a walkie-talkie system wired to a spirit board-like device. The moment he steps inside, the atmosphere shifts. The air feels heavy, the silence dense. You can almost feel the energy watching him. Something in that apartment isn't just present, it's waiting.
Итак, друзья, я в этой квартире.
Morozov's handheld thermal camera begins picking up erratic heat signatures, strange inconsistent hot and cold spots that don't make sense. The most disturbing readings come from the kitchen and hallway, where the temperature jumps wildly between 22 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius in a matter of minutes. Then without warning, the sounds begin. Faint at first, knocks, creaks, the subtle scrape of something dragging across the floor, but they quickly grew louder, more deliberate. There's a deep thud from the hallway, followed by what sounds like slow, deliberate footsteps pacing just out of frame. Morozov freezes, his breathing audible on the mic, and for a moment, the air seems to hold its breath with him. Whatever is in that apartment isn't just residual energy, it's active, aware, and moving closer.
На мониторах ничего не видно.
Tapping, creaking, and whispers, too soft to understand but undeniably present, begin to fill the air. The microphone captures faint voices that clearly aren't Morozov's, and on playback, they seem to react to his every step. As he moves deeper into the apartment, a shadow briefly crosses the hallway behind him, visible for just a split second in a reflective surface. He spins around, flashlight raised, but finds nothing. In the living room, he places a doll near a temperature sensor, hoping to trigger some activity. Moments later, the front door creaks open and slams violently shut. The tension rises. Morozov, now visibly shaken and sweating, despite the room dropping to near freezing, tries to regain control. Then a deafening crash erupts from the kitchen. Plates are shattered across the floor, plates he hadn't touched. He pleads with whatever's in the apartment to stop, but the activity intensifies. The lights cut out, static blasts from the radio. Whatever this is, it isn't just residual, it's aware. After nearly an hour of escalating phenomena, Morozov finally breaks. He announces he's leaving, gathers his equipment, and exits quickly. Whether it was a spirit, a poltergeist, or something far darker, Morozov doesn't pretend to know. But he makes one thing clear: he'll never step foot in that apartment again. In a short yet unsettling clip originally shared on TikTok by user Lauren Burlex, a hiker in the UK captured a moment that left many viewers rattled. The now viral video shows the hiker reaching the summit of a remote hill during what seems to be a solo camping trip. As the camera slowly pans across the open landscape, something strange appears on the opposite ridge, a bizarre gathering that instantly shifts the mood from peaceful to eerie. Take a look. In the clearing below, a group of adults dressed entirely in white stands in a perfect circle, with two casually dressed children positioned in the center. The scene is dead silent and eerily precise, prompting the hiker to begin filming and share the clip online. The video is short, just a few seconds, but the unsettling atmosphere is undeniable. Some viewers suggested the group were modern-day druids, followers of a contemporary form of Celtic spirituality known for conducting nature-based rituals. According to that interpretation, it was likely a peaceful spiritual gathering, but not everyone was convinced. The visual of white-robed adults encircling children in such a remote setting struck a nerve, unsettling many who saw it. Whether the gathering was harmless or not, there's no denying the sense of unease it created. Some moments don't need a backstory to be disturbing. They haunt you all on their own. What's your take on this? The Turkish channel Ramble Soul, typically known for its serene and cinematic countryside camping adventures, took a frightening turn in this particular episode. Run by a couple who focus on peaceful lakeside cooking, fishing, and nature, their content rarely dips into anything unsettling. But this trip was different. They had just arrived at one of their favorite remote lakeside spots, eager to enjoy the calm weather and test out a brand new inflatable tent. Everything felt perfect until the wind started picking up as the sun began to set. At first, they didn't think much of it. Spring winds weren't unusual, and they assumed it would pass. But it didn't. The gusts got stronger, more violent, and soon they found themselves scrambling to secure their gear and hunker down inside the tent for the night. The camera cuts to morning, and what follows is chaos.
Oo. O ne ya?
Ya! Oh! Saçmalama! Dur!
Al şunu al. Ne var içeride?
Oh!
Sanoş yandım. Şu arabanın anahtarı.
Ya patlar mı onlar?
Patlayacak bir şey yok. Çok yaklaşma. Tüpler patlayabilir. Sanoş bir su al. Su getirsene şeyden.
Şurada.
Ha olur.
Sevgili nasıl
Patlamaz
yapacağız?
ya. Patlamaz. Şunu da al. Ver onu bana.
Of ya!
Aa. Ah.
Canım.
Ha?
Nasıl yapacağız bunu?
Ver ben dökerim. Dur şunu koyayım.
Of ya! Aman.
Of ya. Ah. Hoş. Bir tane daha.
Of. Of ya.
Ta bagajın altındaki gözde.
While they were having breakfast, everything changed in an instant. Without warning, their brand new reinforced inflatable tent suddenly caught fire. The culprit appeared to be a nearby inverter system connected to their power supply. It had either overheated or malfunctioned, sparking flames that quickly licked up the synthetic tent fabric. Within seconds, the fire spread rapidly. The tent's internal pressure caused it to collapse inward as they frantically rushed for the fire extinguisher. Thankfully, no one had been inside when it ignited. Had they been just a few minutes slower, the outcome could have been tragic. They fought the blaze with everything they had: water, sand, the extinguisher. But it was too late to save the tent. In the aftermath, the couple stood stunned. Normally upbeat and composed on camera, they were visibly shaken. She cried, not just over the lost gear, but over the terrifying realization of how close they came to disaster. He tried to stay strong, offering her comfort, but even his voice trembled as he surveyed the damage. Despite everything, they ended the video with gratitude. It was the first and last time they ever used that tent. What mattered most was that they both walked away unscathed. Most people wake up to the sound of a kettle or the promise of a quiet morning, but on one camping trip in South Africa's Sabi Sands Game Reserve, Dylan Panos, a seasoned outdoorsman and guide, woke up to something else entirely. He stepped into a small kitchen setup, expecting to start the day with coffee, when a low guttural growl stopped him cold. A lion was just outside. What was supposed to be a peaceful morning in the bush turned into a tense, life-threatening standoff. Keep watching, because what happens next is crazy. Trapped between his morning routine and two wild predators, Dylan Panos, a seasoned guide in South Africa's Sabi Sands, found himself in a surreal standoff. He stepped into his makeshift camp kitchen, only to be met by a low growl. A male lion stood outside, and not far off, a lioness had taken up position along the camp wall.
We've got a honeymoon couple in camp. And the lioness, she's lying right here by the wall. And we can't get even to make our coffee this morning. Very rude behavior.
Dylan, trying to stay calm, joked to the camera about being denied his coffee, but the tension was unmistakable. He was surrounded, pinned by instinct and circumstance in the middle of the bush, with no clear way out. The male was clearly guarding the lioness, who lay sprawled along the outer wall of Dylan's kitchen area, completely uninterested in him or anything else. From inside, Dylan could hear the low, rumbling growl. It vibrated through the air. He glanced at the thin chicken wire fence surrounding his camp and wondered if it offered any real protection. With two of Africa's top predators just feet away, even all his years of experience couldn't take away the sense of vulnerability. What was supposed to be a quiet morning had turned into a quiet standoff. He stayed calm, documenting the moment on camera, but it was tense. The male lion stayed close, pacing occasionally and locking eyes with Dylan through the flap of the tent. The lioness didn't move, just rested there, silent. Finally, after several minutes, they wandered off into the brush. No confrontation, no damage, just a powerful reminder how thin the line is out there, between routine and danger, between control and chaos. Dylan made it out safe, and he eventually got his coffee. But for a while, that peaceful morning turned into a face-to-face encounter with the wild. I guess if things were to go south, at the claws and teeth of that adorable kitty wouldn't be too bad, am I right? In September 2021, outdoor explorer and YouTuber Erlo Brown, known for his solo hikes and peaceful nature content, ventured deep into the remote forests of South Africa. His goal was simple: set up a trail camera and hopefully capture rare footage of local wildlife in an area with minimal human activity. The deeper he hiked, the the more isolated the trail became, narrow, overgrown, and clearly rarely used. The path twisted through a dense valley with only one visible way in or out, which Erlo pointed out made it a perfect spot for animal movement. His focus was on finding the ideal tree, something concealed, but with a clear line of sight to the trail ahead. But what he ended up capturing would be nothing like what he expected.
I think we have found a perfect place to place the trail camera. So this trail running along here is literally the only entrance and exit for this entire valley. And you can see it's very narrow, so it's very easy to funnel the animals in one spot. You know exactly where they'll be walking. It's very dense around here. So I guess animals can walk wherever they want. They don't need the trail. But I'm almost 100% convinced we'll catch some animals on this trail. Just look at how nice that is. I just have to find a good spot to place the camera. I'm not too concerned about people finding the camera. This trail isn't used a lot because it's just a one-way. It's not a through-way. So maybe a tree. I reckon this tree could maybe work.
He paused near one tree, debating whether it was too exposed to mount the camera. As he scanned the area for a better spot, the calm silence of the forest was shattered by a deep, low growl. It came from nearby, close enough to cut him off mid-sentence. The sound was loud, guttural, and forceful, not something that could be easily dismissed. It didn't match anything he'd heard in the wild before. Erlo froze, straining to listen, but now the forest around him had gone completely still. No birds, no wind, just silence, and whatever had made that sound.
This tree could maybe work, although that's going to be very obvious. Maybe if we find something that's a little bit further into the tree line, so it's better hidden, this could perhaps work. I have no idea what that was. That was not an animal. I think I'm gonna leave.
He couldn't say for sure what had made the sound, but it didn't resemble any animal call he recognized. Later, after replaying the moment in his mind, he considered the possibility that it had been a leopard, a realization that made the situation far more dangerous than he initially thought. In this part of South Africa, leopards are silent hunters, known to stalk from above and strike without warning. Surrounded by thick foliage and with limited visibility overhead, Erlo suddenly understood just how exposed he was. He didn't want to find out more. Abandoning his plan to set up the camera, he turned and left the forest immediately. Whether it was a leopard or something else, one thing was clear. He wasn't alone. Something had been watching. Four Wheels to Freedom, a channel known for capturing the joys and challenges of van life, opens their latest video on a high note. The couple shares cheerful updates from the road, celebrating their recent milestone of hitting 100 subscribers, something they're clearly proud of. The vibe is light and warm, filled with playful banter, scenic shots from their trip through Spain and France, and plenty of sweet cameos from their dog Jackson. Their van is clean, their spirits are high, and everything seems to be wrapping up on a perfect note. They chat excitedly about what's next. 2 big trips on the horizon and more UK-based camping content in the meantime. It's the kind of feel-good travel vlog their viewers have come to love until something shifts.
Just want to say thank you to all our new subscribers. We're now at 100 subscribers. Whoop, whoop. Gonna have a drink tonight, guys. So that was the middle of the night I hit 100. Our aim is by the end of, no, I don't know what my aim was actually by the end of this year to get to 100 subscribers, and I'm there halfway through the year. So maybe we could get another 100 subscribers before the end of the year. I look like I got a bit of colour, didn't I, guys? Do you think? Right, guys, so we'll catch you on the next one. I'll think the next one for you maybe reviewing a campsite, a restaurant, because they do food here, so we're gonna have a little review of the restaurant.
Guys, also, comment below what sort of videos would you like to see from us when we're back in England. Obviously we'll do some English campsites, but would you like to see some day in the lives of us in the UK? Oh, we've got a visitor. Hello, darling. You come to say hello to the vlog of your waggy tail. Waggy tail. Where's Mr. Waggy tail?
However, partway through the video, the tone abruptly shifts. While driving through France on their way to the Eurotunnel, the couple comes upon a startling sight. A vehicle engulfed in flames at the side of the road. Thick smoke pours into the sky as visible flames lick at what's left of the wreck. They slow down, both shocked and concerned, recording the moment from a safe distance. The heat from the fire is intense, even from inside their van. As they pass, they speculate about the type of vehicle and wonder if anyone was hurt, noting that emergency services haven't yet arrived. A fire truck appears in the distance, struggling to navigate traffic and reach the scene in time, which only adds to the tension. Despite the gravity of the situation, the couple stays calm and respectful, making sure they're safely out of the way before continuing their journey.
Oh, bloody, we've got a bit of a...
That's a car or a lorry or something that's black. Yeah, it's a car there.
Oh, they've got out. Yeah, he's there. He's out of it.
Filming it. Coming off these red cars. Not on that side of the road today.
Bloody. Take my window up, I think. You could feel that heat. Whew.
Yeah, I reckon it was like a rain. It looked like it might have been a Range Rover.
I don't know, I got it on film.
Electrical fire, I reckon.
That's the fire engine there, like, trying to get through.
Yeah. Definitely some heat coming off it.
Yeah, definitely. Bloody guys.
It's not driving that way.
Oh, just as we touched back into the French border. Just like that, guys, we're on our way home. Well, to the Eurotunnel.
I was going to say, we're still in France.
We're now going to get the Eurotunnel.
Belgium we're actually in, aren't we?
Yeah, we're in Bray-Juice or something like that. I'll put a little thing there, you know what I'm like with my
Got a nice beach.
pronunciations. Yeah, I'll put a little clip of the beach from yesterday.
Once they safely cross the French border and enter the Eurotunnel, the vlog gradually returns to its cheerful, upbeat rhythm. Their light-hearted tone and easygoing humor pick back up, bringing viewers along for the final leg of their journey. Despite the earlier shock of witnessing a roadside fire, the couple remains grounded and authentic, sharing laughs, small frustrations, and candid reflections as they go. Their chemistry is natural, their storytelling unfiltered, and their willingness to show both the fun and the unexpected gives the video a relatable charm. This episode captures what van life is really about, not just the freedom and adventure, but the unpredictability that comes with it. It's a reminder that the road can bring joy and awe one moment and sobering reality the next. This happened on January 11th, 2025. This footage comes from Wiggins Wild World, a YouTube channel run by Coin and Victoria, a couple chronicling their off-grid homesteading journey in the Arizona desert. Normally, their videos are upbeat, focusing on land development, alternative gardening methods, and their excitement about living closer to nature. But during one of their early walks around their newly purchased 20-acre plot, something unexpected turned their enthusiasm into unease, possibly even fear. While hiking the terrain to mark out boundaries for the first 5 acres, the two are lighthearted and energetic, soaking in the rugged beauty of the Sonoran landscape. That energy quickly shifts when Coin notices something strange glinting in the dirt. 2 old Mexican peso coins, partially buried. It's an odd thing to find in such a remote area, and neither of them can explain how or why they're there. What starts as a quirky discovery slowly takes on a more ominous tone as the couple begins to wonder what else might be hidden on their land, and whether someone, long before them, had a reason to leave something behind.
First we found a couple pesos and we were like, that's cute, washed away from Mexico.
Like, I was just walking, I kept finding stones, and then all of a sudden I looked down and I thought it was an Apple AirTag, and it was
2 pesos.
2 pesos from 98 and 92.
Between 1992 and 1998, even though it's strange, They initially believed the coins were cleaned using the dry wash method, but things got worse.
So we just found a little kid's backpack, like a kid-sized backpack, which wouldn't like be too alarming or anything, but it's like in the wash. And a little while ago, just randomly walking through here, we found 2 pesos, like 2 peso coins, and we found a little kid's shoe. So I'm like, hopefully somebody's stuff got accidentally washed down from the wash, but I really, really hope we don't find like something gruesome in the area on the new property, because that would suck pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know, because we are so close to the border. Like,
there's a backpack, a shoe, and some monies.
Yeah, I really hope we don't find some person or persons that
We're trying to make their grand escape.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, that's the news about that.
Victoria spots a small child-sized Puma backpack, faded, torn, and partially buried under the dirt. The front pocket is shredded in a way that doesn't look like simple wear and tear. Not far from it, they uncover a child's shoe, sun-bleached and breaking apart, but clearly meant for a young kid. What's unsettling is that all 3 items, the coins, the backpack, and the shoe, are clustered in the same area, beneath a large tree and beside what looks like an old pack rat nest. And just when they start trying to make sense of it all, they find something that makes their stomachs drop. A bone.
Over here, right? Yeah, right there. And I'll show you the bone.
So it would be different if it was just the shoe. So we found a little kid's shoe, we found a little kid's backpack, and we found this bone under that tree.
Who knows, though? Sorry, buddy. Are there deer bones?
Hopefully.
Hope so. Doesn't that look like a really clean cut now?
Oh, shit, yeah, it does.
The bone is long, smooth, and slightly curved, possibly a femur. It's small enough to belong to a child, though it's unclear whether it's human or animal. Victoria immediately voices concern, wondering aloud if it could have belonged to a kid. Coin, clearly rattled, but trying to stay composed, makes a nervous joke about not wanting to uncover a crime scene on their brand new homestead. Things quickly escalate. They find more bones nearby, one of them showing what looks like a clean cut, the kind made by a blade. The couple begins filming more intentionally, documenting the disturbing discovery while openly acknowledging what it might mean. Their land sits near known migrant routes in the Sonoran Desert, a brutal stretch of terrain where many attempt the journey on foot, facing blistering heat, dehydration, and even the threat of human trafficking. Presence of children's belongings mixed with potentially human remains suggests something more than just a tragic accident. Later, they call the local sheriff's department using a non-emergency line, and a deputy agrees to meet them at the site. As Coin and Victoria prepare to walk the officer through their findings, the weight of what they've stumbled upon begins to settle. There is no ID, no obvious trail, no resolution, just a haunting mystery and the hope that maybe, just maybe, the bones belong to an animal. What do you think? Kev Goes is a YouTube creator known for documenting his love of the outdoors through hiking, fishing, and solo camping adventures. He often ventures into remote wilderness areas, embracing the quiet and pushing his own limits. In one particular video, he took on a new challenge, spending the night alone in the forest with only a minimalist tarp shelter. What began as a peaceful, low-key excursion quickly turned into something far more unsettling. The video opens with Kev biking into a secluded forest and finding a moss-covered clearing perfect for setting up camp. He strings his tarp between 2 trees and prepares a simple setup before nightfall. Though the dense forest gave off an eerie stillness, the area felt calm and remote, exactly the kind of place he enjoys. The campsite was located just off an ATV trail on public land, and Kev didn't expect to see anyone else. As the temperature began to dip, he opted to skip a late-night coffee to avoid messing with his sleep. Instead, he cooked a quick stir-fry and watched the sun disappear behind the trees. But just as darkness set in, the sound of distant ATV engines broke the silence, marking the first sign that he might not be as alone as he thought. Keep watching.
There are some ATVers not too far away. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but they just started and they started whooping it up a little bit. It's Crown land here, so there's not much I can do about it. I chose kind of an ATV trail. I just didn't expect them to be out in the evening. So hopefully it won't last too long, and hopefully it's gonna deter any bears, because bears are a real thing. It's April right now, and we've had a very warm springtime here in Canada, in Manitoba where I am. And so the bears, most likely some of them were out earlier. And if there's no food for them to find, they'll start looking for human sources. I thought about it while I'm out here. I just cooked with onions and garlic and all that stuff. So, you know, it's probably a tantalizing smell for a bear. It is for me anyway.
It seemed like a few riders were still out in the trails, their engines and occasional bursts of laughter echoing faintly through the trees. Kev didn't mind. If anything, the human activity felt like a buffer against any curious wildlife. After finishing a simple meal, he settled in for the night, sliding into his sleeping bag beneath the tarp as the forest grew darker and quieter. The occasional creak of trees and soft rustling of leaves were the only sounds left as the wilderness wrapped around him like a thick, silent blanket. For someone familiar with solo camping, the calm should have been comforted, but instead, the longer the silence stretched, the louder every small noise seemed to grow. He tried brushing it off as normal forest activity, branches swaying, animals moving, but a subtle tension started to build. Then, sometime after midnight, that uneasy stillness shattered. Around 12:30 a.m., Kev was jolted awake by a sudden, high-pitched scream, sharp, human-like, and far too close. It cut through the dark like a knife, turning a quiet night into something far more unsettling. The sound didn't match any animal Kev was familiar with. It wasn't a fox's bark or an owl's call. It was something else entirely, long, drawn out, and filled with a kind of anguish that felt deeply unnatural. Frozen in place, he strained to make sense of it, mind racing to pin down what could be making such a noise. The once calm forest now felt ominous. Each time the scream echoed, it came from a different direction, never repeating the same spot twice. Then came the subtle but unmistakable sound of movement, deliberate, slow, and unnerving. With trembling hands, Kev fumbled for his camera, finally managing to switch it on. It recorded only fragments of the sound, none of which truly captured the dread he was experiencing real time. The screams continued on and off for what felt like forever, before suddenly going silent. But the quiet that followed wasn't peaceful. It felt heavy, suffocating. He stayed alert, clutching his gear, eyes starting through the darkness, unable to sleep. The forest, once a source of solitude, now felt alien and hostile. When the sun finally rose, birds chirped and squirrels stirred, but that eerie tension still lingered. Kev wasted no time breaking camp. Whatever had happened during the night, it wasn't something he wanted to stick around and investigate. For someone seasoned in wilderness camping, it takes a lot to truly shake the nerves. This did. What do you make of it? On May 21st, 2025, a chilling encounter was posted by the YouTube channel Eleanor Grace Adventures, run by solo traveler and content creator Eleanor Grace, who's known for her peaceful explorations across the UK. Her videos typically highlight the quiet beauty of remote places, but this time was different. What began as a tranquil wild swim in a secluded quarry deep in Dartmoor took an unsettling turn. At the start of the video, Eleanor calmly shares her plan for the day, unaware that something was about to shatter the peaceful tone she's known for.
Evening, everyone. You're joining me on the way. Well, we already are on Dartmoor, but we're heading somewhere that I've never been to before, but I really wanted to check out this evening. I was really looking forward to a sunny evening with a potential sunset, and it's just gone incredibly grey. Perfect timing.
And that is how this happened.
We're off. Got my coffee. Where's my mic? Hang on. Okay. Shall I hold this? Shall I put this there? Who knows? Let's put it there. Beautiful grey evening in the middle of Dartmoor. I wanted to do an evening
hike, and I was looking on my All Trails app for somewhere really nice on Dartmoor. I also wanted to check out the area I'm in for the possibility of doing a wild camp on a tour somewhere, because I've never actually done one like properly before in the actual wild. And Dartmoor, yeah, Dartmoor would be very interesting to say the least. Whilst I was checking out my All Trails app, I came across this place, and it's an old mining quarry, which is literally, now I'm not too sure if it's this one or there. Beautiful hike with old buildings and stuff like that. Getting a bit boggy, but worth it. She could have just avoided it, but no, she goes right through it. People have said that it's a very unusual and cool looking place to go for a wild swim. You know me, right? If there's a very weird or cool or beautiful place for me to take a dip, I'm gonna do it. I've brought the stuff with me in my backpack to do that. It is meant to start raining at some point this evening, so to be honest, if it does, even better. Oh, this is a very cute little stream. This is lovely.
What started as a quiet evening hike through Dartmoor National Park quickly took a turn. Eleanor had spotted an old quarry on her All Trails app and set out to find it, partly to explore, partly to see if it could be a future wild camping site. The goal was simple: locate the hidden spot, take a swim, and head back before dark. The setting was eerily calm. A blanket of gray clouds hung overhead. The land around her was rough and empty, broken only by distant hills and the occasional shape. It felt remote, almost too remote. Following a journey through thick bogs and marshy trails, Eleanor eventually stumbles upon the quarry.
Oh, you have... Oh. You have got to be kidding me. What a hidden gem. Oh, bless him. Right, I'm just going to stand still and let him run. It's quite eerie, actually. Yeah, I don't... Hello? 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 Yeah, I don't think that there is anyone else here, apart from the sheep. Look. I really do want to get in there. I'm gonna go for it. It's worth it. I get something starts sucking on my leg. As gross as that sounds. How cold are we talking? It's not too bad. I'm gonna get over there. It's a little bit cold. It's not too bad though. There are a lot of tadpoles and everything around me, and like little lizardy type things. I haven't seen any leeches yet. We're being joined by sheep. I'm gonna have to move my bags just in case they try and eat it.
At first, the experience feels magical. Even with no one else around, Eleanor goes through with her plan, ducking behind some rocks to change and slowly slipping into the icy still water. But that quiet beauty soon gives way to discomfort.
Oh God. The rocks are quite high and jagged. It's not overly deep. So you've got to be careful where you're putting your legs, really, or kicking your legs to swim. Oh, this is so nice though. Loads and loads of like planes and military helicopters and stuff above me. There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there. I don't know if someone's wild camping and pumping up something, because that's what I can hear. It sounds like that. Either that or it's extremely loud, heavy panting. God, I hope it's someone wild camping. Anyway, Dartmoor is like a military training base. They do a lot of training around here basically, so I had to check the times for when they were doing that. There's various areas on Dartmoor where you can wild camp, and this falls under one of the legal areas you can do it. Yeah, I was coming from up there. It is pretty eerie when you're on your own.
Oh my god. Oh god. I can still stand up.
While swimming, she starts to notice a strange sound echoing from the ridgeline above, a rhythmic mechanical noise like something being dragged or pumped. It's hard to tell where it's coming from. At first, she assumes it might just be a wild camper setting up nearby, but the sound keeps going. It repeats, irregular, distant, but always present. It's like heavy breathing or machinery. Either way, doesn't belong this deep in the wilderness. Still, she tries to shake it off. Lizards dart through the underbrush, and there's no trace of another person. That only makes it feel more off. She even jokes on camera about being watched. Just the usual YouTube banter until she starts to believe it. As she's changing behind a rock, the sound hasn't faded. It's grown louder. Twilight sets in and her hike back turns into a struggle. The marshy terrain that had seemed passable before now feels like a trap. Mud pulls at her legs. The stream she crossed earlier is hidden by thick reeds, and everything looks unfamiliar. Her boots are soaked. The rocks are slick. For a moment, she's genuinely unsure which direction to go. She hadn't memorized the path in, and now it's working against her. Eventually, she reaches her car, parked near a forested road at the edge of Dartmoor. But even later that night, safe in her father's driveway, she can't shake the feeling from the quarry. The next morning, she records a follow-up. What she felt wasn't just unease. It was something heavier. She says it felt like being watched the entire time, not paranoia, presence, as if something unseen had been following her, hiding among the ruined stone or just beyond the still water. She compares it to a place she swore never to return to, Kennel Vale, another former mining site with a grim history, known for its eerie energy. Both locations, crumbling, lifeless, long abandoned, left her with the exact same feeling, dread. Not like a haunted house or a ghost tour, but something more primal, like being surrounded by unseen eyes. Thankfully, she got out when she did, because sometimes, when everything in you says leave, you should listen. What do you think was waiting out there? Rob Call Nature is a YouTube channel that focuses on quiet, immersive outdoor journeys, often set in remote and rugged areas. His content usually blends wilderness skills, solo camping, and peaceful reflection, with the added tension that comes from being completely off-grid. But in a video posted on March 22, 2025, things took a darker turn, one that made him question not just a decision to camp alone, but whether he was actually alone at all. Rob explains that he discovered the location while browsing Google Earth in search of new wilderness spots. Hidden deep in a Finnish forest, he found a small point marked simply as Viking Tomb. There was only one image and barely any information available, but his curiosity got the better of him. He decided to track it down, spend the night at the site, and film the entire experience. After parking on a desolate logging road, the nearest place to access the tomb, he immediately sensed something wasn't quite right.
That's weird. Why would they do that? That really bothered me. Why would they take pictures of my car? So, we have to head due west. When I unpacked my car, there drove a car by. They slowed down pretty much when they saw me. And just now, before I left the road into the woods, they made another round and took a picture of my license plate. Maybe it was the landowner, maybe they thought I was a poacher.
The car creeps by at a slow pace as if sizing him up. Moments later, it loops around, and this time, the driver appears to snap a photo of his license plate. The encounter leaves Rob uneasy, but he brushes it off, figuring it might have been a landowner or someone just wary of a stranger heading into the woods. What he doesn't realize yet is that this would be the first clue that someone was watching. With his gear in tow, he begins the hike, pushing through thick underbrush and descending into a small valley. He loses his bearings more than once, doubling back and unknowingly walking in circles. At one point, a deer bolts through the trees nearby. Then finally, he stumbles across the tomb.
Well, I think I can see it. cool. Well, it's plundered all right. Well, no trophies for me. I wonder how many hundreds of years ago they plundered this place. They could have left a sword for me, or two.
An enormous stone mound rises from the earth, covered in weathered boulders, long since looted, yet still commanding. Tucked deep in the forest near a lake, the site radiates mystery. Rob speculates the Vikings may have once used it as a place of trade or battle, given its access to the Baltic Sea through nearby waterways. As the sun dips low and the air grows colder, he sets up camp right beside the tomb, opting for a hammock under a tarp. The forecast calls for temperatures as low as -4 degrees Celsius, but Rob feels ready. He lays a foam pad beneath his hammock, uses an old wool blanket for insulation, and bundles up with layers of clothing and hand warmers. Outside, the thermometer drops past -5 degrees Celsius, while his shelter clings just above freezing. At first, the night is peaceful. He eats a cold meal, sips iced coffee, and settles in to watch a movie under the tarp, joking that not many people get to enjoy movie night beside a Viking tomb, but that calm doesn't last. By 11 p.m., after nearly 4 hours in the hammock, the cold begins to win. Despite his preparations, he's shivering hard, the chill cutting through every layer. His hands go numb, and though he's not in serious danger, he knows it's time to call it. He reluctantly tears down camp and begins the hike back, but as he walks, a strange unease creeps in, something beyond the cold. It feels like eyes are on him, and when he reaches the road and spots his car, he discovers something that shakes him.
Found her. My princess in shiny armor. Well, someone has been interested in my car. I knew there was something off. These are not my footprints. The left one is mine, and the right one is the visitor in the night. When we headed out, someone took a picture of my car. Well, maybe they're as curious as I am. Well, that's the... let's just get out of here.
On the passenger side of his vehicle, where he hadn't stepped, were fresh, unmistakable footprints. Someone had been there, and it wasn't him. Rob immediately thought back to the car that had driven past earlier, the one that seemed to snap a photo of his license plate. Now it was clear they'd come back while he was out in the forest. Whether it was just curiosity or something more sinister, he couldn't say, but the reality was chilling. Someone had approached his car, possibly circled his camp, in the dead of night. For someone experienced with solo wilderness trips, this felt entirely different. The fear didn't come from legends, ghosts, or the eerie history of the Viking tomb. It came from the simple, unsettling truth that another person had been quietly lurking nearby. That kind of fear is harder to shake. What do you think happened out there? The YouTube channel Psychological is typically all about laid-back IRL fishing streams and quiet outdoor moments. But during one trip near Braunfels, Texas, what started as a peaceful day on the water turned into something far more unsettling. Something that made the creator drop everything, grab his camera, and call the police. The stream began like any other. He had taken his kayak out for a relaxing evening paddle, slowly drifting along the river, enjoying the breeze and the calm. But as he neared the base of a bridge, something broke the usual sounds of chirping birds and moving water. A noise, sharp, chilling, and completely out of place, cut through the air. And from that moment on, everything changed. Take a look.
Those birds freaked out. What the hell is that noise? I'm going over there. I don't know if the stream is working or not yet, but I need to hear whatever the hell is happening over there. Hey, do y'all hear that screaming? Is that something I should be like worried about? I think my day is about to be ruined. Ugh.
The screaming was sudden, raw, and coming from beneath the bridge, so loud and jarring it cut through the peaceful surroundings like a warning. At first, the kayaker was simply confused, unsure of what he was hearing, but that quickly shifted to deep concern. He began calling out, asking if someone needed help, and although a few people nearby admitted they'd heard it too, none of them seemed willing to step in. That's when he decided to act. If someone was screaming like that, something had to be seriously wrong. But just as he called out again, the sound stopped completely, abruptly, as if someone had been silenced or had suddenly realized they were being heard. The timing felt too perfect, too calculated, and it left a weight in the air that wouldn't go away. Still unsettled, he called emergency services, reporting everything he'd witnessed. Then, climbing out of the kayak and up the embankment to see for himself, he found something that only deepened the unease, disturbing, vague, and without answers.
The hardest way up. Whoa! Hello? Hello?
Is anyone up here? You see anyone? No?
There were clear signs that someone had been living there, items scattered around what looked like a makeshift shelter, but no one was in sight. When he called out again, there was no response. No sound, no indication that anyone was still nearby. There were no signs of a struggle, nothing to explain the agonizing screams that had rung out just moments earlier. The silence was haunting, and it left him with more questions than answers. Was it someone in the middle of a mental health crisis? Had someone been attacked and silenced just before help could arrive? The possibility that someone was harmed or taken just out of view was deeply disturbing. What made it worse was the timing. That eerie silence following the moment he called out, as if whoever was screaming knew they'd been heard. Some suggested the sound might have echoed from a nearby tunnel, but both he and others nearby were certain it came from directly under the bridge. In person, there was no doubt. Yet despite the chilling experience, no missing person reports ever came from the area, and no official updates were released. And maybe that's the most unsettling part of all, how something so alarming could happen and simply fade away without answers. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.